Dos Santos cushions the ball to Quinn inside the Norwich area. Into the net! Alan Quinn for Ipswich Town! It's tagged down the left-hand side. Matty, right foot shot, and it's the goal from Alex Matty! 2 minutes on the clock!
The ball bouncing around in the middle. Graham Williams wins the challenge from Goss. Plays it wide on the right to Whitten. He's got space again. He cuts across the goal, flicks it through to Williams. Williams chips it high in the air. Brazil coming in one-on-one with Goss with the goalkeeper and puts it into the net.
Roberts, corner of the area, low in towards Clark. Now the player can shoot. He plays into Legwinski. What a chance! What a goal!
Pushed out. The referee let it go. He was nearly going to blow up then, Charles. I think he was. He thought about it. As Norwich play it back to.
Stockwell, right-hand side, he's got behind Segura. Stockwell, right-hand side of the 18-yard box, is coming across. Matty has got his hat-trick! It's the 3!
Up comes Bent and fires it. Oh, he's hit the post! The follow-up is blocked, but in goes Pinhago! And Pablo Pinhago!
It is nearly time. The East Anglian derby is back and it's live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Your commentary team at Portman Road is Mick Mills and Brenna Woolley.
Here we go again, another chance for Ipswich Town to finally end Norwich City's derby domination. The Canaries come here unbeaten in the last 14 clashes between these two great rivals, by far the longest streak of its kind in the history of this fixture. It's crazy that we're still referring to April 2009 when Jim Magilton was the Blues manager and John Stead was their match winner. Shades of that this afternoon, I guess, with an Ulsterman in charge and a Yorkshireman up top. Yeah, I'm clutching at any straw I can while looking for omens. Needless to say, as you might have guessed, there's a cracking atmosphere here at Portman Road without a neutral in sight, a sea of blue and white with of course an island of yellow and green over to the far right hand side. Glorious conditions for this game of football as well. Bright sunshine here at Portman Road, still a little bit blowy off the back of Storm Amy. The ball girls and ball boys are all ready for this one. There's a guard of honour waving flags off to my right hand side, just waiting for the teams to line up in the tunnel and then of course exit it. Mick Mills is alongside me, of course a veteran of playing in and watching these games down the years. Mick, the big question is today the day? Is this hold that Norwich City have had over Ipswich Town for way too long about to end in the next couple of hours?
Well, I firmly believe it is. I think they're, without question, with local derbies there is a massive advantage when you play at home. There's no question about that. There is a few yellow shirts over in the far corner, but all you see elsewhere is blue, and it is a big disadvantage. Norwich will have travelled down here expecting a really difficult game. We must make sure that we don't disappoint them. It's almost like looking at a straight putt in golf. You know, you stand there and you're looking for undulations. They aren't there. You're overthinking it. Today we literally don't think about anything, just go straight for them. Drive, just keep driving and hit them hard and hit them all the time. That's all you do in a local derby. You've got to really be tough with the opposition. You know that the odds are stacked against them, so make sure that you take advantage of that. And I think that we've got the best group of players. Let's hope that we've got the biggest hearts as well, because this is a vitally important match for the club. It really is, and it is for me a great advantage to put to rights this poor run that we have had against them. I think this is going to be a big day for us.
I mentioned Jim Magilton as the last Ipswich Town manager to win this particular fixture, April the 19th, 2009. Well, Jim is in attendance alongside Tommy Smith, just looking at the TV pictures in front of me, as a few people, his subs largely, and backroom staff head along the touchline on this near side. Jack Clark in conversation with Jacob Greaves amongst them, followed by the rest of the Ipswich Town substitutes as the atmosphere continues to build. Not an empty seat inside Portman Road for this midday kickoff. Well, the teams, as we wait for them to arrive, 6 changes from the side that drew at Bristol City on Tuesday. That go Greaves, Nunez, McAteer, Akpom, Clark and Athon. It's the same team that beat Portsmouth here 8 days ago. Town's second successive home win that was. Palmer in goal, about for Furlong, O'Shea, who we've heard from on match day, Kipre and Davis. Then it's Matu Siwa with Kiyuste in midfield. An attacking three of Eggerly, Schmodix and Philogene. Up front, Hurst. On the bench, Walton, Nunez, Taylor, Young, Greaves, McAteer, Akpom, Athon and Clark. Three players in both squads have experienced the East Anglian derby. Davis and Hurst played in it for Ipswich Town a couple of years ago. Nunez actually scored the winner for Norwich the last time these two sides met. And just as a little aside, if we're looking at Omen, 7 of this Ipswich Town squad has scored against Norwich in the past. It's incredible. 20 years ago, Ashley Young got a goal against Norwich. O'Shea's done it, Akpom's done it, Greaves has done it, Smodix, Clark and McAteer. The Norwich team, Marcondes, drops out from the side that lost to West Brom on Wednesday. Topic comes in. Kovacevic is their goalkeeper. The back four of Stacey, Darling, Cordoba and Fisher. Then it's Matson, McLean and Topic in midfield. Sienats will start to the right, Schwartau to the left, and Josh Sargent, their number 9, with 6 goals for the season, all coming in his first 5 games of the season. Hasn't scored in 5, is up top. The Portman Roar greets the 2 sets of players as they come out of the tunnel off to our right-hand side for a ticker-tape reception. Off go the pyrotechnics, far side, just adding to the atmosphere. And across the north stand off to our left-hand side, along Tifo. Who's that team we all adore? And that is striped in blue and white. Supporters holding blue or white cards above their head. It's electrifying, this build-up to this game of football. The 3 match officials wandering up. Thomas Kirk is the man in charge of this game. He's the referee. The 4th official, Josh Smith, who's the referee in the last derby here. Both sides, when they take off their tracksuit tops, are going to be in their respective home kits, if you like. It's going to be blue, white, blue for the home team, Ipswich Town, up against the yellow, green, yellow of Norwich. On the Norwich bench, Grimshaw, Schlupp, Wright, Mahovo, Makama, Gibbs, Jurasek, Marcondes and Medic. What do you make of the Ipswich Town team for this game, Mick Mills?
Well, I think that he's got an awful lot of players to select from. They have played together before. We saw it against Portsmouth, so they do know each other. No, I've got no problems with the team whatsoever. But this atmosphere, that reception was unbelievable. You know, if that doesn't fire you up, nothing will fire you up as a footballer, you know. So they must feel very, very good about themselves. They've just got to get themselves right individually, and then remember that they're playing with a partner and get the partnerships going. You know, there's an example would be Leif Davis and Jayden Philogene. All of a sudden they know each other inside out. We need that all over the pitch, down the right side, in the centre, up front and at the back. Let's make sure we start good and strong, and then I don't think there'd be a problem. I really don't.
You talked there about the atmosphere firing these players up. How easy or difficult is it to strike a balance, but also having a bit of calmness between your ears as well? There has to be that balance, hasn't there?
Yeah, I think that's always there. You know, if you're a really good pro, you know when to go hot, you know when to go cold. But generally speaking, we've got to really knock them for 6, knock them early, hit them early. We've got to be aggressive with them, you know. We've got to, you know, really make them feel uncomfortable, because already they've come out and they're thinking, wow, you know, this is unbelievable. I don't like the look of this. Whereas we're thinking the absolute opposite. So you take advantage of the positive thoughts. Let's hope that Norwich take advantage of the negative thoughts.
Kieran McKenna's 3rd East Anglian derby as a manager. It was 2-2 here early on a couple of seasons ago. Goals from Broadhead and Burns on that occasion. And then, of course, one of Town's very few championship defeats that season was at Carrow Road. Marcelino Nunez scoring from distance beyond Václav Halatki. 14 games Norwich have played against Ipswich Town without defeat, as the 2 captains, Kenny McLean and Dara O'Shea, shake hands on the halfway line. McLean, one of the 3 Norwich players in the starting lineup, have experienced this occasion before. Sargent and Stacey, the others, as both sides head into their pre-match huddles. It looks like Ipswich Town are going to be kicking in their preferred direction in this first half, defending the sun-drenched north stand off to our left-hand side. Norwich playing from the Sir Ralph Ramsey stand, playing from right to left in this first East Anglian derby of the 25-26 season. We're due to go to Carrow Road in mid-April. Let's hope by that point we're talking about Ipswich Town backing up their victory in early October. This run has to end at some point. Fingers crossed it is this afternoon. Who is going to be a hero in blue? Unbelievable noise inside Portman Road as we all settle into our seats, strap ourselves in and focus on the match ball in the centre of the park. It's going to be Norwich City, by the looks of things, getting this one underway, and it's their Scottish captain Kenny McLean. A slight doubt ahead of this game, but he's in the team, and that's a real bonus for Liam Manning. Liam experienced this fixture in the dugout for the first time as Norwich City manager. A better team away than at home, the Canaries, so beware. The 93rd league meeting between Ipswich Town and Norwich City is underway this Sunday afternoon. Immediately, Norwich give the ball away. Philogene running down the far side. He's trying to score for the 5th time in 3 home fixtures, the former Aston Villa player. It's an early through for Leif Davis.
Yeah, first pass was a bad pass. It was a Norwich one. That's good.
4 blue balloons on the pitch. Actually, there's a couple off to my left-hand side, half a dozen of them. One of them next to Dara O'Shea as he has the ball on the D. Pings the ball heavily at Kiyuste. Good first touch from the Swede. That really tested him, didn't it? Up to Smodics now. Love to score his first Portman Road goal for Ipswich Town in this fixture. His first anywhere this season. Fisher goes down on the halfway line. Ball still in play. Smodics to Kiyuste. Exceptional that first half against Portsmouth last time here, Jens Kiyuste. O'Shea, who spoke as well as ever in the build-up, gives it to Furlong. Back it goes to O'Shea. Town with a win this afternoon will be 2 points off the playoffs with that Blackburn game in hand. So we've got to have a look at the bigger picture beyond bragging rights, pride of Anglia, etc., etc. At the end of the day, there's 3 points to be fought for. Poor from O'Shea, stabbing the ball behind Furlong. It's very sloppy from the captain early on. It's given Norwich an attacking throw-in outside the Ipswich area after 90 seconds.
Yeah, it was too much. Just overplayed it at the back there. You know, let's get the balance right. Let's play short when it's on to play short. Let's just hit the front when it's on to hit the front. Otherwise, you'll be putting yourselves in trouble.
Some tall players in this Norwich side, looking at the likes of Topic and Schwartau for the first time I've ever seen some of these players. Some height in this Norwich team, that's noticeable immediately. Throw into Norwich. Darling, their captain, the number 6 in the sunshine off to our left, hurls it into the town box for the first time in this game. It's gone a long way, headed away by O'Shea, nodded back into the box by Matson. Sargent nods it forward, and then a calm twist of the neck from O'Shea, and he loops his header back to Alex Palmer.
Yeah, it's good defensive play by Dara O'Shea, but it was him who really gave Norwich an opportunity to put the ball in our box without really working for it. They didn't earn that, so be careful playing around at the back. Another one.
O'Shea's given the ball away woefully. Norwich wide left outside the Ipswich Town area. It's Topic, their one pre-match change. O'Shea's got to liven up. Chance for McLean to put the ball into the box, headed up by the Republic of Ireland international. Headed into the box again by the tall Topic, away from O'Shea. Topic tries to win it for Norwich. Matson battles for it. Hurst with an important touch. Eggley tries to switch to the far side, but there's no blue shirt there. Stacey sees it going out of play for a throw to the Canaries.
Well, I'm pretty sure that the instruction is to play out from the back, just be calm, don't chase the game. Well, I would have gone different than that, but we've already played 2 really ridiculous balls at the back.
Very windy as well. It's going to have an impact on this game, one would have thought. Fair bit of litter floating around in front of Liam Manning down below us. Norwich at the moment on 8 points from 8 games, Town a couple of points above them, having played 1 game fewer. There is Matson, a summer arrival. Norwich have it now. Heavy touch from Cianats. He's also 6 foot plus. On the centre spot, it is Cordoba playing alongside Darling. Back now with Cordoba. There was a question mark on whether Medic might take his place, but Cordoba was in the side that narrowly lost to West Brom in the week when, to all intents and purposes, I think Norwich actually played pretty well. I think Ryan Mason, the West Brom manager, was quoted as saying Norwich were the best team they'd faced so far this season. Now back on his penalty spot is Kovacevic, yet another summer arrival, the Bosnian and Herzegovinian. Here is O'Shea to the right-hand side. Phil, another poor pass from O'Shea. That's 3 or 4 early on from the captain. This one hasn't been too worrying though. It's inside Norwich's half of the field at least.
Yeah, at least Norwich has just given a ball away from unnecessary short passing in their own half. Dara O'Shea has started really poorly with his passing.
Norwich with this throw-in to be taken by the youngster Fisher, left back underneath us towards halfway. Furlong wins his header. The blonde-haired Maatsen hits the ball up towards the centres, towards the halfway. A lovely control from Sargent, really nice from him in the windy conditions. Maatsen out to the right hand side trying to get Stacey away. Poor pass intercepted by Davis. Philigin's on it now, wanting to take on Sienats. Gets to the far touchline, it goes out of play for a through to Norwich City, and then the balloon enters the pitch down below us. Looking for a third successive home win here this afternoon against Norwich, who finished 13th last season. Twice in the last 3 seasons they've finished 13th in the Championship. The days of them going up or down to the Premier League season after season have gone for the moment. They were that typical yo-yo team for a while. Here is Cordoba getting away from Smodics, holding him off. Big strong player, the Panamanian. Matusiwa up to the centre spot, and Kayuste taking on a couple of players, goes down, loses the ball right next to the referee. Liam Manning disagrees with the foul, but the referee's given it for the chopping challenge on Kayuste.
Yeah, I think got a little bit lucky there. I didn't really think that was a foul in it, but it was a difficult thing that Kayuste was trying to do. He had to sort of weave between 2 players. There was a lovely scene on the left-hand side, and I know exactly what he was trying to do, but it was difficult to actually get there.
As lively as you might expect. With 6 minutes gone of the East Anglian derby, live on BBC Radio Suffolk. No goals so far. Just joining us for the first time, Town with 6 changes. They've gone back to the Portsmouth team. Matusiwa, I thought, another really good game at Bristol City in the week. Kayuste is robbed in midfield by Maatsen. Sargent has an overlapping player in behind, but Kipre gets back in his first touch of the game. It's a comfortable one in the end to find Palmer, but again, Town losing the ball cheaply.
Yeah, unnecessarily so again. You know, it's amazing. 5-6 minutes have gone now, and we haven't been anywhere near the Norwich penalty area.
Poor pass from Furlong, but Hurst made something of it. Excellent play from the Town number 9. Sliding in as Maatsen, who's getting himself around the pitch and doing a great job for Norwich early on there. Number 7, he's caught the eye. Seizing onto wayward passes from Ipswich Town, winning his tackles, and he's had the rub of the green there. He slid in to make the challenge on Hurst. It's gone out of play, the ball. Clearly came off Hurst last, though, says the assistant near side, so it's a bonus throw-in, if you like, for Norwich. Fisher to McLean. He makes a mess of his attempt to ball in field. Chested forward strongly by Darling. Cambridge-born player Darling. Spent a bit of time playing football in Newmarket early on in his career. There's certainly only one Suffolk or Norfolk-born player involved in this game across the 2 squads of 20. That's Liam Gibbs of Norwich on their bench. Kayuste couldn't find Matusiwa. Norwich win the ball back through Fisher. Notes a foul on Smodics. Town not finding their range or accuracy with their passing so far. Yeah,
I think just what we need, knock a ball over the top of either one of their fullbacks, and let's get somebody in pursuit of it. Just let's change it slightly. We are now being obsessed with passing the ball out from the back.
Chris Hogg having a word with the 4th official. Once again, he's Liam Manning's assistant, former Ipswich Town player and coach. One of the game's good guys. Kipre up towards Philigen. Philigen crunched down by Darling. Enjoyed that by the Norwich fans behind that challenge. Cleared away by the goalkeeper Kovacevic. Kipre wins his header against Sargent. Nicely taken down by Kayuste. Out to the right-hand side, Eggerly. First time he's had the ball at his feet, the teenage Norwegian. Down this right-hand side in his derby debut. Gives it to Furlong. Eggerly wants the ball back, the number 8. There he is. He's heavily strapped left wrist. Kayuste up against Topic. Town number 5 in the end has to go back to Dara O'Shea. 8 on the clock. 0-0. It's been played at a good pace. This game, nice and lively. Furlong down the right-hand side for Smodics, waiting for the ball to arrive against the bigger, taller Cordoba. Cordoba clears the ball away, only so far. Needs some help from Fisher. Fisher's nudged to the floor by Eggerly. Free kick behind left back to Norwich.
Well, we've got the ball into a better area there, down near toward the corner flag area. That Smodics did very well to start with, and then Eggerly is just really quite silly. Saw a little touch of the opponent's back, and down he goes. Free kick given, pressure off.
4 of the last 5 meetings here have ended as draws between these two sides. A fair number of people sitting on the fence in the build-up to this game. 1-1 seemed to be a fairly common prediction. Sargent, the American, heads the ball on. Kipper's almost lost it there, but he used his superior bulk to get the better of Sienats, and then he plays that to Davis. Sienats closes down Davis and prevents him getting to halfway. Kiyuste against Sargent. The midfielder's held the ball up well. Good play from him. Josh Sargent, also a big lad, looking at the size and physicality of this Norwich side. Topic closes down Dara O'Shea. There is Kipre, perhaps the one surprise selection ahead of Jacob Greaves for this game. Kipre down the line to Davis, should get onto it. He can't do anything with it, and he actually might have won a corner kick. First corner kick of the game goes Ipswich's way.
Yeah, and it's quite amazing, you know, because the pass from Kipre wasn't a good one, but it's gone into an area that Norwich are now asked to do some defending, and because of the winning run of Davis, we win ourselves a corner. It's all come from basic play. We should have been doing that a few minutes earlier.
10 minutes gone in the Suffolk sunshine. First East Anglian derby of the season. Ipswich Town have the first corner kick of this match. It's Jaden Philogene off to our right hand side, puts it in. It looks good. Glancing header away from Stacey, the right back, for a throw in near side to Ipswich Town, which I think Darnell Furlong is on throw-in duties. Here he comes. The TV camera zoom in on Stacey. It's an important header, that. Decent delivery from Philogene. Furlong with this throw-in for Ipswich Town. Outside the Norwich City penalty area, off to our right-hand side. Still 0-0 in the East Anglian derby. 10.5 minutes gone. Furlong hurls it towards the penalty spot. Cordoba heads it away as far as Eggley. No towed on beyond him by Topic. Given back to his goalkeeper, though, by Leif Davis. For the Norwich City midfielder could get onto it. Here come Town. Hurst in behind for Smodics. Smodics towards goal, but Cordoba saw it back to Kovacevic, who dropped down, and the ball right on the edge of his 18-yard area.
That was good play, and it was more progressive as well.
Topic for Norwich, out to the right-hand side, and Stacey takes the ball on his chest in front of the cobbled stand, stabs it in field. Eventually it reaches Sargent. Stacey's continued his run. Sargent, the American, drifting infield, gets away from Matusiwa, tries to pick out a pass to the left-hand side, and Schwartau, the Dane. Town block all avenues to goal. Cleared away as far as halfway. Darling with a header down to Maatsen. Maatsen, who was Marcelino Nunez's replacement, if you like, in the summer at Carrow Road. Nunez on the bench for Ipswich Town, having started at Bristol City in the week. I would imagine we'll see the Chilean at some stage.
I think Norwich has settled the better team, which is a total surprise to me. It really is.
Yeah, they've been all right, Norwich. Ipswich Town yet to really get going. Through from Stacey, finds Sargent, who is undoubtedly one of the very best at this level in terms of number 9, Sargent. Surprised that he's still at Carrow Road. McLean down the left-hand side. It's a ball which is going to favour Ipswich Town rather than the willing run of Topic. It's out for a Town throw at right back. We're still waiting for the first goal of the afternoon on BBC Radio Suffolk. Both these teams' final game before the second international break of the season, the penultimate one of the calendar year. Town back in action a week on Friday up at Middlesbrough. Hopefully on an unbeaten run of 5 by that stage. Furlong throws the ball down this touchline. Fisher's nod down. Eggley tries to get it to Matusiwa. It's come off of Matusiwa last for a throw to the visiting team, who are at this level for the 4th season in a row. Norwich City. And startling stat that I noticed when I was looking ahead to this game is only Leeds scored more goals than Norwich last season. Clearly they had their struggles at the back, but 20 goals, although Boya Saints, who moved on in the summer, was a major source of goals for them. He's now at Porto. Kipre brings the ball down on the edge of the Ipswich area, plays it to the left-hand side. Davis, who controls it. Can Town spring an attack? Davis running over the halfway line, just north of the centre circle. Philogene's making a run, so too Smodics in behind. Darling does well to cut out Smodics' run to goal. It's unfortunate as far as Town were concerned, but I suppose you've got to credit the defending in the end, as Kipre gives it back to Palmer.
Yeah, and that's our left-hand side doing basic things through Leif Davis. If the space is in front of you and you've got control of the ball, there's no need to pass it. Just run as quickly as possible through that space. And he did that, and it almost created a chance. Davis
infield to Hurst. Way too heavy a touch again from Hurst. Once more, he's got to do better. So Norwich get the ball back. It's through a little gap from Sienats. It bypassed Topic. Doesn't quite reach Sargent, and there is Kipre to safety first, go back to Palmer. That's absolutely fine in the situation he found himself. Here is Alex Palmer, who we heard from pre-match on BBC Radio Suffolk in the 15th minute here, and it's still 0-0 in the East Anglian derby. Furlong towards Smodics, who's gone on a run, might get there ahead of Cordoba. No, Cordoba eats up the ground, he's no slouch, and he's shielded it out behind. It's an interesting battle between those two. Yeah,
obviously Cordoba is quicker than Smodics, but I don't dislike that pass. It's a testing ball. It's getting the defender turning, facing his own goal. Okay, he's ushered it out for a goal kick, but we've got to keep trying to do that. Sooner or later, you'll find a pairing that favours the blue shirt as opposed to the yellow shirt, and you'll get yourself in on goal.
It became a bit of a fan's favourite, Jose Cordoba, last season, which was his first. He cost Norwich £3 million from Levski Sofia before that. Settled into life in the Championship fairly well. He's been decent so far in this game, but hopefully that's him cursed. Here is O'Shea, who's hopefully settled down after being rather generous with his early possession. He gets up to Hurst, that's better. Hurst with a layoff to Kayuste, to left-hand side, Philogene. Philogene running forward, poor first touch from him. Stacey on the stretch, happy to put it out behind though. At least Town have won a corner, but that was better from Ipswich.
Yeah, better and good from the left-hand side. You had Leif Davis in a very advanced position. The ball ultimately goes to Jayden Philogene, and the only thing that let him down was something that he doesn't normally do, his first touch. If he had got his first touch right, we were in business there. We've got a corner kick anyway, but it's more positive, the play, when we do that.
0-0, 16 minutes gone in the East Anglian derby. All eyes on Jayden Philogene over in the far right corner next to the Norwich fans, with Town's second corner kick of the match. In it, Loops again, good delivery, but caught by Kovacevic inside his 6-yard area. No quick release, eventually does throw it to the halfway line, but Matusiwa is the red-hot favourite to get there. And on the half volley, poke it back to Palmer, who distributes directly up to O'Shea. O'Shea tried to put it over the top. The run of Smodics, who's frustrated there, Smodics, that he didn't. He thought he timed his run to get in behind, and that Norwich had a high line. There was room for that. O'Shea flings the ball up towards Davis in the central position, chests it down, back to goal, 30 yards from goal, squeezes it square. Egerly controls it to a point, reverse pass to Smodics, inside the area, way too much on his ball, across the face of Norwich's box, and it's out for a throw to Norwich at right back.
Well, that's brilliant play. The initial position that Leif Davis has taken up, he talked about that in an interview, that when he came back to pre-season training, he was going to be asked to take up a more inside position on occasions. He did that. That's why you were surprised, Brenner, that he was so advanced when he picked the ball up. Good position, and in the end Smodics just couldn't make his mind up exactly what he wanted to do. It was, he's thinking cross shot. In the end he didn't do anything.
Fair few people fancy Smodics to maybe get his first home goal in this fixture. Certainly up for it. It's good to catch up with him after the Portsmouth win last week. Ball in field from Schwartau, controlled well by Sargent, but then outnumbered. Matson wins it back against Philogene. There's a free man far side, Stacey galloping into open green grass. Stacey wide right outside the Ipswich area. In comes his cross towards the far stick. There's a player there. Schwartau nods it back. Sargent gets underneath it and hits it over the bar. His first half a sight of goal, if you like, but he was a distance away, and it was a very difficult piece of skill to pull off.
Yeah, that was a real threat, because we were a little bit at 6s and 7s. It was Kipre who's out of the back four. We were short in numbers. He was desperately trying to get back in to fill the space, but because he couldn't, the right side of our defence had to come over more than they wanted to. That left the big raking ball to the back post to the Norwich wide left player there. So we've got to be careful, don't vacate those back positions too easily.
0-0 on BBC Radio Suffolk, as Furlong's caught late, but it was totally accidental. Schwartau didn't see him. No major reaction from Town players down on the field. A few in the stands would like the referee maybe to distribute his first card, but on first inspection didn't look too much in that. Furlong clearly caught. We got to word with Schwartau. Does Mr. Kirk. Let's have a little look at this on the replay. Yeah, he did hang his foot in there. He was a little bit more naughty than I first thought. So he's getting a word or two from the referee, which is spot on. The 19-year-old midfielder. Furlong is up, ready to rock and roll again. So it's still 0-0.
It was a bit naughty, but it's amazing that you've got to wait nearly 19 minutes for some naughtiness to enter a local derby.
It would never have happened in your day, would it?
No, it wouldn't.
19 seconds.
19 seconds, correct. Maybe shorter than that.
That's if you're on the drag. There's a throw in at left back for Norwich City. Not much in this game at all so far, as the scoreline would suggest. No clear-cut opportunities for either team. Town have got him behind a couple of times. Then Sargent had that effort over the bar a few moments ago for Norwich. Didn't actually start the last meeting between these two sides, Sargent. The 1-0 Nunez win for Norwich at Carrow Road, but did start in this fixture a couple of years ago. So far this season, Norwich have lost to Millwall, Middlesbrough, Wrexham and West Brom, but saying that, their home form has been very good. Their away form, should I say, has been very good. They won at Portsmouth, won at Ewood Park, and then the draws at Coventry and Stoke in recent times. Both teams up in the top 4 of the division at the moment stand out. Here is McLean, almost robbed by Eggerly. Took a bit of a chance there, McLean. He's got away with it. Gives it to Maatsen, back to Cordoba. Good pressing from Town. Cordoba switched feet to get it back towards Kovacevic. Now it's Stacey receiving the ball from Darling on the far side. The former Bournemouth man Stacey puts it in behind for Sargent to chase. O'Shea reads the situation well, passes it to Davis. Davis can't keep the ball in. Rather embarrassingly, that was enjoyed by the Norwich fans. It's a throw to the visitors.
Well, he could have kept it in, but he would have been facing his own goal. He tried to be clever and let the ball run slightly past him, so if he then got control of the ball, he was going in the right direction, but he's tried something that was a little bit too difficult.
Norwich incredibly have scored in the last 24 meetings between these two sides. The last 14 here. The last time Town kept a clean sheet on this pitch against Norwich was the 5-0 Alex Matthey hat-trick game of 27 years ago. Alex is here watching this game this afternoon. He'll be with me at Middlesbrough a week on Friday. Furlong to Eggerly. Eggerly first time down the middle. Great ball looking for Hurst. Has he stayed on side? He's battling with Darling. Might be a chance for Philogene! Flags up. He's found the back of the net at Portman Road yet again, Jayden Philogene, but it doesn't count. We are still 0-0 in the derby.
Well, I am not sure about that. I think Hurst has done everything he needs to do and should do. I think the centre half is absolutely terrible. I mean, he started the whole thing. That's not
poor.
Crazy. The centre half made the problem. He caused the problem, not Hurst.
And you know, we'll always be straight with you on BBC Radio Suffolk. We don't sit here with blue-tinted glasses on. We're not biased towards Ipswich Town as much as we'd love them to win this game with a passion. But that should never have been given against George Hurst, that challenge on Darling. Town should be 1-0 up. Not a good decision for me. Anyway, we carry on 0-0. Schmodix up towards Hurst, who feels he's been hard done by. He could get the better of Darling this afternoon. He did on that occasion. He has again just now. Davis, far side. And when the ball came to Philogene, given his red-hot form here recently, he knew what was going to happen, and he put it in the net.
Yeah, it was a lovely finish.
It was a good finish. O'Shea liven things up a little bit after a relative lull in proceedings. 4 of the Town subs near side in their orange bibs watching on, just a couple of yards away now from Darnell Furlong as he gives the ball back to O'Shea. O'Shea was risky, it did get to Kayust, a beautiful spin by the Swede, but Norwich win it back again. This started with poor play from O'Shea. It's Schwartau shooting at the near post, saved by Palmer. Dara O'Shea, goodness me, man.
Well, this is the way the manager wants all his teams to play, but first and foremost he's got to weigh up whether his team, his individual players can actually play this way, because at the moment they are playing suicidal football at the back. It's not just O'Shea, it's the midfield players as well. You know, they're not doing it right.
Yeah, Kayuste was the player caught on that occasion after a terrific spin. It really was a wonderful piece of ability from him. Corner kick to Norwich, their first of the game. Remember, only 90 seconds or so ago, Ipswich Town had the ball in the back of their net, but it didn't count. Let's see if Town can keep the ball out of theirs. It's a good-looking ball into the box, cleared away. There's a shot from Maatsen, takes a deflection. Corner kick number 2 comes along in quick succession for the Canaries.
Yeah, that was a good ball in, and it was a good effort. You know, it was sort of on target, and then it comes back out, and then they've won themselves another corner. I just can't help but believe that because of the way we started the game, we've made Norwich feel comfortable about themselves.
Corner kick to Norwich City. 24 minutes played. Attacking the Sir Bobby Robson stand off to our left-hand side. Trying to go ahead in this East Anglian derby. Right hand in the air, that's the signal. In comes the delivery. Headed away by Hurst. Back out on the far side.
Yeah, good clearance, good header.
Through this time. Norwich still have plenty bodies forward. There's only Stacey back in the middle third of the pitch, just his goalkeeper behind him. Darling has gone across to take this through for Norwich. Still 0-0 live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Lovely sunny afternoon at Portman Road. Forward comes Darling. His throw into the box, headed away well by Kipre. Didn't take any prisoners with that. The ball's recycled back by Sienats, but flags up as a break in play.
I can't quite think what there must have been a free kick there, a push or something, but you know, we sort of offer Norwich opportunities. They're getting opportunities to put the ball into our penalty area from free play, from long throw-ins, from corner kicks. You know, we shouldn't be offering this opportunity to them.
Russell Osman also down in the director's box. Just saw the camera zoom in again, sitting in front of Jim Magilton and Tommy Smith, who I mentioned earlier on. Throw in underneath us for Ipswich, the current generation. Their right back Darnell Furlong has it. Another member of the Norwich coaching staff speaking to Mr. Smith, the fourth official. Furlong back to O'Shea. Palmer wants it inside his 18-yard area. Palmer gets it outside his 6-yard box, slips it square to Kipre. Town starting with a team that beat Portsmouth here in the last home game. Philigin's touch is heavy. Matusiwa wins it back, and then it's brought down by Stacey, holding his right ankle. It's going to be a free kick to Ipswich, just in front of left back. Matusiwa's back and up on his feet. Earlier on this weekend in the Championship, Wrexham Birmingham was a draw, so was Blackburn Stoke. Hull won, so too Coventry, QPR. Other winners Millwall, Portsmouth, Preston, Leicester and Watford. Coventry top of the table after a big win for them yesterday. Ball through by Schwartau, trying to get Sargent in on goal. Cut out by Kipre, who goes square on the near side to Furlong. Furlong down the line for Hurst, trying to get in behind. He's managed to do that. He's inside the area. Hurst needs support. Cordoba's nudged him out of the box. Back it goes to Eggerly. The number 8 comes in field, has a go, deflected. Might drop down to Davis in the area. Air clearance there from Sienats. Onto it is Philogene, who's had that goal cancelled out for the foul by Hurst on Darling, controversially. Eggerly down the right wing, chance for him to run at his fullback Fisher. There's a step over, thought about the cross for Norwegian. Eventually gets the ball in, doesn't look a bad one. Hurst rises, Hurst heads it down. It's on target, but it's scooped up very, very easily by Kovacevic.
Yeah, nice cross, decent header from the position that he found himself in. But I just looking down, and I've got a feeling that Hurst is up for this game and ready to sort of work his socks off and do damage to Norwich. We've got to get the ball up to him or close to him early.
Philogene gives it away cheaply after some good work initially from him and Kiyuste, robbing Stacey on the far side. Topic back to Fisher, the left back, who does look right-footed. Fisher, forward it goes from McLean. Of course, a Scotland teammate of George Hurst, both about to go away on international duty, as a number of Ipswich Town players are this next fortnight. It's that nervy little period for Kieran McKenna, hoping they all come back in good health, ready to go again at Middlesbrough. We're still 0-0, 17 minutes of the first half to go.
Yeah, we've got to pick our game up a little bit. You know, I do feel that when we do get into sort of the attacking third of the pitch, we look quite useful, but it's so few and far between the times that we get there.
120 meetings in all competitions down the years between these two sides. The first one 123 years ago, as the ball goes out of play off Furlong's hand. Thought he got away with that. It's a right call from the referee and his assistant. He looked 90% certain to win that throw in off of Schwartau, but it did clearly hit the hand of Furlong last, so good call. Throw into Norwich. Fisher down the right hand side, great feet from him. The referee says play on, there's a foul on him. played a good advantage. McLean with a crossfield ball. What a pass, controlled by Stacey. Stacey trying to get the better of Davis. Davis goes down in the area. It's going to be a free kick to Ipswich Town. But for a second, that looked a little bit worrying.
Yeah, the crossfield ball was a threat. You know, we needed to deal with it. We should have dealt with it, and we did in the end. But it was a threat initially.
Free kick to Town. They still have the ball inside their penalty area off to our left. Here is Palmer, still looking for the first goal. Short to Matthew Seawer, bypassing Norwich players in and around the Ipswich Town area. Furlong trying to flick it down the line. Way too casual from Furlong. Nowhere near good enough in any game, let alone a derby like this. Fisher with a throw-in. It's not what fans want to see at all. Fisher, the number 35, former Bromley player. Signed by Norwich a couple of years ago. Fisher over the top of Matthew Seawer. Furlong plays it forward towards Hurst, has a head start on Cordoba, has to go it alone. Hurst inside the area, holds off the big centre half, gets to the byline, has to turn now, needs support. There are players in blue in the middle, tries to jab it into the middle. Kovacevic almost has the ball nicked off of him by Smodics, who appeals for a corner kick off the keeper, but it's a goal kick to Norwich.
Yeah, he's a threat. Hurst is a threat today. I know that he was going to be done for pace there. Once he realised he couldn't go down the outside, just keep your body between the ball and the player and keep possession of it and wait for the troops to arrive. You know, that's all he should be thinking about. First of all, can I be positive? Can I get a shot in? If the answer is no, keep hold of the ball and wait for people. But well done, Hursty. You look as if you're up for this, mate.
Palmer has the ball in the penalty area off to our left, gives it short to O'Shea, who's closed down by Topic. Back is O'Shea, the number 22's right on him. Matthew Seawer back towards Palmer. Got to decide what to do pretty quickly. He's pinged out a pass to the far side, and Davis, well done, the goalkeeper. Davis in field towards Kayuste, waits for the ball to arrive, turns away from Matson. Kayuste in the middle, bypasses Smodics, finds Egley. Forward come Ipswich Town against Norwich. A wave of blue going forward from left to right. Egley puts the ball deep towards the far stick. Goalkeeper comes towards it and gets a touch on it. The faintest of fingernails. It's a corner to Town.
Yeah, it was a decent ball in, but the goalkeeper made a big hash of it. When he was coming, I wasn't quite sure what he was expecting him to do, really. You know, I think it was there to be taken, but he made a complete hash of it. He's given us another corner, another opportunity. Decent ball in. You know, we've got a good aerial presence there, probably better than Norwich. You know, this is a good opportunity.
Philogene on Ipswich Town's third corner kick, all of them from the far right corner. Town attacking this Ralph Ramsey stand. It's 0-0. In comes Philogene's ball towards the far post, headed down. Can anybody touch it towards goal? Yes, they can! Ipswich Town score against Norwich City, and it's Cedric Kipré, the most unlikely Derby Day hero. The centre half sends Portman Road into raptures. Ipswich Town 1, Norwich City 0. What scenes!
Well, initially it's a bad mistake by their goalkeeper, but it's been caused because we've got the ball into the penalty area. We win a set play, corner kick. The ball in was exceptional, and then we end up, the ball goes down, and you know, in it goes, driven in high into the net. Wonderful. That's what we need. Feed off this good fortune now.
Difficult to tell initially whether it was he or Smodics that got to the ball. Quite comfortably, it was Cedric Kipré when you see it from a slightly different angle. And fair play to Smodics for maybe hearing the call and not inadvertently challenging his own player. And it is Kipré who gets his first goal for Ipswich Town, and what a moment he has picked. Let's see how both teams react to this before half-time. Yeah, the TV camera's zooming in on Kovacevic. And now Liam Manning, stern-faced, the former Ipswich Town youth coach, now in charge of the Canaries. And just listen to Portman Road. Fisher leaves the ball behind. Egley loses it now. In goes Furlong, out it goes near side for a throw to Norwich City. Taken by Fisher eventually. About 11 and a half minutes to go of normal time in this first half. McLean trying to get away from Smodics. Smodics slows him down, wins the ball well. Former Blackburn and Colchester player. Fisher with this through, not far from Liam Manning, just stepping into sunshine, Liam. Here on the ball is McLean next to a blue balloon. Infield it comes. Once again, Norwich still have possession on halfway with Cordoba going square at the back to Darling. Darling along the deck to Stacey. Philogene closes him down. Stacey puts it in behind. Sienat might get onto this ball. Chance to knock it into the box. Davis smuggles it out behind for a corner kick to Norwich, trying to hit back within, 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, good play to get in behind us, but Leif Davis did exceptionally well in the end to block the cross. He's had to give away a corner kick, but he stopped, a short-range cross coming into our box. So, corner to Norwich. Let's hope they don't do to us what we did to them.
It's Norwich City's third corner kick of this game, trying to draw level with Ipswich Town. The Blues having taken the lead about 3 minutes ago in the East Anglian derby. Plenty of players in around the penalty spot off to our left in yellow, being marshalled by those in blue. Ball comes out, there's a driven shot's deflected and in. Norwich score an equaliser 3 minutes after Ipswich Town had taken the lead, and it's Schwartau with his first ever goal for the Canaries. Ipswich Town's lead lasted almost the blink of an eye. It's now Ipswich Town 1, Norwich City 1. Would you believe it?
Well, that is good fortune. It's come from the set play. This looks as if it might be a day of set plays because both goals have come from set plays. So that's not a particularly good corner. It's come out. The shot's not a particularly good one, but it does take a rebound and goes into the net. It's 1-1. I just feel that we have to sort of, forget, the fact we went in front. Forget now the fact it's gone to 1-1. It's the way of playing that we've got to change. We're too keen to play at the back. The worst part of the Norwich team is the back part. Let's force it, force the play upon them.
Well, he'd forward by O'Shea to no one in particular. That was poor from him. Goal kick to Norwich City. Well, as I say, that didn't last long at all, and Norwich always score 25 derbies in a row, 15 here in a row they've scored, and it's 1-1, that much predicted scoreline. Kovacevic off the hook after his mistake allowed Ipswich to take the lead. That's Kieran McKenna who's looking rather pensive. He's fiddling with his hair down below us, the Ipswich Town captain, and it's the Norwich fans, around about 2,000 of them, in the right-hand third of the cobble stand opposite, bouncing up and down, many of them waving their yellow and green scarves in the air. Here is Schwartau, the 19-year-old goal scorer for Norwich. Kipre, the Ipswich goal scorer. The back header gets to halfway, and Matson, who started the game brightly, haven't seen too much of him in recent times. Norwich squeeze the ball in field to Schwartau. Back it goes to Topic. Here is Jack Stacey, dependable player for Norwich. Darling goes square to Cordoba at the back for the Canaries. There is Fisher into a little gap to McLean. McLean's letting a ball roll across him. Gets up towards Sargent. He's caught late, McLean. Referee says free kick for the foul by Matthew Siwa, who by my reckoning is one yellow card away from missing Town's next game. We do believe that his yellow card at Blackburn stands, so he's on 4 at the moment, the Dutchman.
Yeah, there's a definite difference to the way the two teams are playing. Their passing is sharper and more sort of progressive and more forward thinking. Ours is slow, ponderous and really not forward thinking. So that's the difference, and I think the Norwich are feeling probably better about their game than what we are about our game.
Yeah, I bet they are. Here is Cordoba, 1-1. Cordoba goes long out to the far side. Excellent pass, chested down by Darling, who hauls Davis to the floor. It's got to be a yellow card. It's a completely stupid one. That is a daft yellow card for any player to get, let alone a centre half who's got to play another 52 minutes of this game, pulling down Davis in the left back area outside the Ipswich area. That's nuts, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely crazy. That's the most negative position you could do it in. Okay, he's on his way. Davis is on his way, but he's fully 75 yards from the opposition goal. He's not going to sort of do anything dangerous from that area.
Now Darling's got to watch his step for the rest of this game. Let's hope he doesn't. Being ever so slightly biased. As played forward by McLean. Matson's barged down, no, says the referee. Matusiwa to Kayuste. Kayuste controls it, puts it through to Hurst. Flag has stayed down. Hurst inside the Norwich area. The ball slightly behind him. He shoots across the face of goal. It's a chance though for Ipswich Town. Even now the flag has stayed down. It would have counted.
Another sort of, we've got control of the ball. We see the run of George Hurst. Let it go. he does take up the right positions. All that George Hurst has got to realise is he has not got the speed to outrun Cordoba, so he's got to have that in the back of his mind, because that's 2 or 3 times he's tried to go into that area and hasn't got there, but he's playing well.
6 minutes to go until half-time. Ipswich Town led, they've been pegged back. They've had another corner kick. Philogene puts it towards the far post, headed up by O'Shea, still inside the Norwich 6-yard area. Now nodded away, should be cleared away by Schwartau, their goal scorer. 2 unlikely goal scorers really, Kipre and Schwartau in this first 35 minutes, as was roughly 3 minutes between the 2 goals. Matusiwa knocks the ball diagonally into the Norwich area towards the far post, headed down and out behind by Stacey. Corner kick again, therefore to Town.
Well, there's even more reason for us to put the ball into the opposition penalty area, because the goalkeeper now, who started reasonably confidently, is now a little bit of a nervous wreck, so punish him.
Philogene on his and Ipswich Town's 5th corner. They've all been pretty decent. What can he do from this one, the former Aston Villa player? Forward he comes, in it loops towards the middle, punched away by Kovacevic. Matusiwa nods it to Egley. Egley clips it back into a dangerous area. The keeper comes towards it, punches it away, not very far. Philogene towards goal, blocked off by a Norwich player. Out as far as Davis. I think hit the side of a Norwich player. Philogene brought down, surely. No, says the referee. Looked like a clear foul on the far side of the field, although it has to be said, not too many blue shirts suggesting that to the referee, so I think yet again he's probably got that one right.
Another mistake from the goalkeeper. You know, we really must have this in our mind, you know, because he won't feel good about himself if we keep putting the ball in there.
Off the backside, I think, the block from Fisher, and it hadn't been from his legs or feet. He's in a funny old position, almost on all fours inside his 6-yard area. Matusiwa wins a header. Egley loops it, trying to get it in behind the Norwich defence. Spooned up and away by Cordoba. 1-1 on BBC Radio Suffolk between these 2 great rivals. Stacey skips away from the challenge of Davis, who caught Stacey. The referee might want a word with the Town fullback. He's carried on play at the moment. He's played the advantage. Norwich have it with Sienats. One back there by Kiyuste. Kiyuste blocked off. The ball breaks to Sargent for Norwich City. Josh Sargent outside the area has a go straight at Palmer, but that was ominous.
Yes, Kiyuste there is believing in his ability too much. There were too many people around you, Jans. You know, you've got to do the simple thing occasionally.
Poor from Palmer this time, kicking the ball out near side. Just a little bit of negativity, I sense, in the crowd here at the moment. Not happy with what they're seeing from Ipswich Town, having given up that lead very quickly. Here is McLean up towards Sargent, cleared away by O'Shea. Hurst spins, possibly held up. Matson goes to ground. Hurst battling for the ball. Cordoba comes away with it for Norwich City. Has to go back to Darling. Did all he could to find a forward pass, bless him. Here is Matson once more. Darling to Cordoba. Cordoba left-footed, fires it over the top of the Town backline, but all the way through to Alex Palmer in the final 3 minutes of this first half, which won't have a great deal of time added on either.
No, it's not been one of those games. There's been very, very few stoppages. It's just not been a particularly aggressive game at all.
3 flags above the cobblestone opposite, flapping around in the breeze. Egley near side gives it back onto the chest of Furlong. Furlong clears it away eventually from Schwartau. Won by Cordoba on the halfway line. The ball breaks to Norwich in midfield, trying to go ahead before half-time. Strong run forward by Sienats. He hit that with all his might, but way off target. But again, another sight of goal for the Canaries.
Yeah, good play by Sienats there. I mean, he's coming off the right-hand side. He's in full control of it. He actually should really definitely have hit the target. He's got pretty central when he's striking the ball. He's just pulled it a little bit, you know, so his initial work was better than his finish. What's the referee worried about now?
I think it's bits of balloon, a burst balloon inside Palmer's area.
It's really serious.
So he's doing a little bit of housekeeping. Now Alex Palmer can get the ball rolling once again. I think Norwich will have surprised a fair few Ipswich Town fans in the sense that they're better than they might have thought they were likely to be, the Canaries. Headed on by Egley, and then McLean gets the better of Schmodix, taken down by Matson, but then he loops it forward. favour O'Shea rather than Topic. O'Shea plays it down the field, volleyed by Cordoba to halfway. The ball's not been on the grass for about 10-15 seconds. Finally it does come to earth. Matson, it goes through his legs. Can Philogene get there first? Yes, he can. Lovely spin from Philogene. 30 yards out, has a go. Oh my word! One of the great Derby goals! What a strike from Jayden Philogene! An absolute perler right into the top of the net. Mick Mills applauds, and so does everyone else inside Portman Road, other than those disbelieving Norwich fans, absolutely crestfallen at that moment of genius. Sublime from Philogene. It's 2-1 Ipswich Town. What a strike!
What a wonderful strike. Left footer as well. That's not his best foot, but he really has sort of unleashed this. It's an excellent strike, it really is. He's got no right to really sort of win the ball. He wins it, he just covers 3 or 4 yards. He has to work it onto his left foot, not his best foot, but that's his best goal. No question about that. Well done, we're back in front. Now this should hopefully take us to half-time. It should take us into what can be a far more relaxed dressing room than what it could have been.
Well, it's a one-man goal of the season competition at the moment. That's 5 goals in 2.5 home games for Jayden Philogene. Player written off by so many harshly last season. Wow, long old way to go, but of course there's now the chance that he's scored the winner in an East Anglian derby. But as I say, underline in bold, 64 font, there is a long, long way to go, but at least Town are ahead. Again, 2 minutes of added on time at the end of this first half. Can Norwich hit back immediately again? We've got a game on our hands now. Kipre keeps the ball in, ping-pongs off a Norwich player far side, runs forward and gives it to Kayuste. Kayuste over the top up to the halfway line, headed down by Cordoba. Matusiwa, too heavy, or is it? Egley's going to go after it, it'll stay in field, but Fisher will get there first. Turns into trouble and out it goes. Well, thankfully, an awful lot of people, myself included, were wrong with the 1-1 prediction.
Yeah, that was a good testing ball out here, and Egley did exactly the right thing. He just said, yeah, you're going to be in possession of the ball, but I'm going to make it difficult for you to come out. And he does the right sort of work, and we win a throw-in.
Ball down the line towards Egley by the corner flag next to the tunnel, beaten by a combination of Fisher and Schwartau. Schwartau looking for Sargent, who will continue to be a threat as long as he's on the field. Kayuste back to O'Shea. It was another one of those moments where I feel sorry for Alex Palmer in this instance, because Jayden Philogene had 9 of his teammates on his back celebrating that one, and Palmer could only watch on from afar. Hurst trying to turn away from Cordoba, blocked off to Egley. Final few seconds of this first half, might be another chance for Town here. Philogene edge there, it goes down lightly. Leif Davis was the ball behind him. If he could have released him, Davis was in on goal.
He didn't have to release him, he just needed to leave the ball alone. Just let it go through your legs, and Leif Davis would have had a clear shot at goal.
Massive roar greets the half-time whistle as Philogene protests to the referee about something or other, possibly feeling he was impeded right there. But wow, at this stage of proceedings again, he's the man making the headlines. He actually jogs off the field alongside Cedric Kipre, the man who scored the first goal of this East Anglian derby. That was quickly cancelled out by Schwartau for Norwich, making it 1-1. But then a quite remarkable hit from Jayden Philogene has put Ipswich Town ahead at the break. What have you made of that? 47 minutes, Mick Mills.
It was very tiring. I was really sort of pretty irritated about the way we started the game. It wouldn't have been my philosophy. I would have said, turn them around, make them face their own goal, and let's put the pressure on Norwich in their own half. But no, we did. It was our decision. We've gone out. We decided to play short passing at the back, keep possession of the ball in our own half, and it did not work. And we had players that were guilty of giving it away. And all you were doing as that was going on, you were making the Norwich players, all their fears were slowly evaporating from their bodies, and they were feeling better and better and better about themselves. And then all of a sudden, We've scored an excellent goal from a corner kick. Good. You know, that might then have put to rights everything that was wrong in the first period. And then we didn't allow them to hit us immediately with an equaliser. They got a little bit fortunate. They won a corner kick. The ball comes out to the edge of the box and they get a rebound that takes it into the back of our net. Made it really difficult for us. Every time I saw the ball go into the Norwich half, I thought, yeah, we've got players who really want to play a part in this game, but they were starved of sort of service. The one that was clearly the man that was telling me that was George Hurst. When he got the ball, when he made the runs and it was delivered, he was a threat, he was a danger. The only problem he had at the time was he was always going down the right side against Cordoba, who without question is quicker than him, and he was defending the situation well. If he can get a run at Darlin, I think it would be a different story, but at least he was causing a problem. And then all of a sudden, you just really wanted our left side to come to it, to come to the game, because they hadn't really seriously got their game going. Davis and Davis and Philogene. But then, in a half that hasn't been their best half, Philogene picks a ball up in the middle of the attacking half. He didn't deserve to win possession of the ball, but he did. His first thought was to use up 5 yards of space that he found in front of him. He took it to his left-hand side and he's unleashed a shot which was absolutely outstanding, and it's put us in front. Now we have been given a wonderful opportunity to go in that dressing room, to sit down, enjoy the cup of tea or whatever you have these days. Now I would like the manager now to perhaps admit that his style has not worked. We're 2-1 in front, but it hasn't really worked. He's got to have, he mustn't be too proud about what he wants from his football teams. It's not working. The short passing out at the back is not working. I think he's got to encourage early balls to the front scene a little bit more. Get his left-hand side going forward. Get George Hurst plenty of the ball with plenty of support. Will Smodics be the man that will link up best with him? Well, we've got to put it to the test, but we've got to look better in the opposition half, because I do feel, apart from the goals, I think Norwich would have been more pleased with their first half performance than what we will have done. The half-time score has completely and utterly changed that, of course. Now we've got to take advantage of it.
Yeah, because we know for a little while now in recent times Ipswich Town's second half performances regularly haven't been as good as the first. I mean, Derby got right back into that game, could have won it. Portsmouth were let off the hook to an extent last time out, so Town have got to not only stay at that level, but as Mick was just saying, improve for me in the second 45. They do, though, after the first half of this East Anglian derby, have a 2-1 lead over Norwich City.
Goodness me, what a goal from Jayden Philogene, one of the all-time great East Anglian Derby Day goals, which will be talked about for a long time, especially if Ipswich Town can get themselves over the line and win this one this afternoon. We'll bring you first half highlights during our half-time break. We'll also hear from Ipswich Speedway promoter Chris Louis. A huge week coming up for the Witches.
We're getting more social.
Oh, darling, how wonderful.
But not like that. Get more social with us at BBC Suffolk. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We're bringing you local news from your community, shining a spotlight on the amazing people in Suffolk who make a difference. Check out videos, articles and posts on all sorts of things for you to share with your friends and family, like and comment on.
Oh, how super.
Just search for BBC Suffolk on Facebook and Instagram and get more, social with us. It's really all quite spiffing.
You're with Match Stage, a couple of minutes ahead of 1 o'clock. Ipswich Town 2, Norwich City 1, half-time in the East Anglian Derby. First half highlights on the way shortly. 5 games in the Premier League today, including a chance for Crystal Palace to move up to second in the table above Liverpool after their loss to Chelsea yesterday. Palace are away at Everton. That's one of 4 top-flight games that kick off at 2. The others see Aston Villa home to Burnley. Bottom of the table, Wolves home to Brighton. Newcastle versus Nottingham Forest at St James's Park. Still no win for Forest since Ange Postecoglou took over. The 4:30 kickoff is Brentford at home to Manchester City. Ipswich Town women are in action this afternoon. The Tractor Girls have a 1 o'clock kickoff away at Sheffield United in WSL2. Joe Sheehan's side aiming for a second straight win after their late show against Portsmouth in Colchester last weekend. Away from football, the Singapore Formula One Grand Prix about to get underway. George Russell on pole position, Red Bull's Max Verstappen second. McLaren's championship leader Oscar Piastri will start from third. At Speedway now, the countdown is on to the biggest week of the Ipswich Witches season. Tomorrow they head to Leicester Lions for the first leg of the grand final, with the return at Vauxhall on Thursday. Ipswich's last title win was way back in 1998, although as promoter, Chris Louis knows all too well they've been knocking on the door for a few years now.
I think we've been built for success for, well, at least 3 seasons, and it hasn't happened. We've had a lot of injuries over the last couple of years, and but this team has pretty much now been together for a couple of years. So I think, as a team, I think they are prepared and ready for it. So I think they'll actually enjoy the 2 meetings, and they'll certainly work as a team. All riders, mechanics, everybody has been great all season. So no concerns. We've just got to do it on the days.
And you think you can use the pain of recent near misses to drive you on? Because you have been painfully close in recent seasons, haven't you?
It certainly helps drive me on. It's really been since '98, so it's been a little while. And I think the team, certainly this year, at the beginning of the year, there was a lot of talk around unfinished business, and I still think that's very sort of a very strong feeling amongst the team. So I think they will use that to drive them on, yeah.
It is crazy that it's 27 years, isn't it?
So it's been a long while, but we need to put that right. It needs to be next week, and let's hope we can do it.
It looks a tough one to call, doesn't it? You've both beaten the other home and away this season.
Yeah, teams that are built slightly differently, but similar results. As you say, we've gone to each other's tracks and we've done very well. It doesn't hold. People were saying to me ahead of the semi-finals, who do you want, Leicester or Sheffield? And honestly, I could sort of say I don't really care. For different reasons, it's going to be a tough challenge. So, we've got Leicester. We've got to go to their place. We've got to put on a strong performance, which we know we're capable of. We've had plenty of wins there in the last couple of years. We need to go there and put one of those performances in.
Could go the distance, couldn't it? Do you think it could still be in the balance after, 27, 28 heats? We're certainly going to be none the wiser come Tuesday morning, are we, realistically?
I hope not. Or if we are, I hope we've had a 20-point win or something, but that won't happen. Look, you're absolutely right. It's going to go down. I'm reasonably confident it will go down to at least the last couple of heats, so it's exciting stuff. And
obviously you've got some of the best riders in the division, it goes without saying, but they also have one, haven't they, in Max Frick. He's a bit of a talent.
Yeah, sort of for consistency and point scoring home and away, he's probably been the best rider in the league in many respects. And to say that, you've got Bellevue with Kurtz and Bewley, obviously 2 and 3 in the world, so they're pretty strong. But they've got Max leading the way, and he's a real calm character, and he has a calming influence, I'm sure, in the pits in any team he rides in. And then you've got engine room. You've got such tyres, people like Ryan Douglas, Kyle have. So it's not an easy challenge ahead by any means. We're both in the final for good reason, and I'm just looking forward to it.
It's interesting you mentioned the word calmness there in connection with Max. How important is that going to be, that kind of character and keeping things on a level footing within your own team over these 2 meetings?
Very important. And I think the experience at our top end, particularly with Jason and Emil, is going to be key. I think, those guys, they've seen it all before. They've ridden in championship winning sides, both in the UK and abroad. Emil has just had a fantastic result with Toruń in Poland, beating Lublin, who've been unbeatable for many years. So, he knows what it's all about. Jason knows what it's all about. I'm pretty sure that they will influence the side if things are getting tough, and words need to be had. I'm sure they will.
Ipswich Witches promoter Chris Louis speaking to Brenna Woolley. We'll have a reporter at both meetings next week with build-up and reaction across our output here on BBC Radio Suffolk and BBC Sounds. It's match day, the second half of the first East Anglian derby of the season coming right up.
Stacey galloping into open green grass. Stacey wide right outside the Ipswich area. In comes his cross towards the far stick. There's a player there. Schwartau nods it back. Sargent gets underneath it and hits it over the bar. His first half a sight of goal, if you like, but he was a distance away, and it was a very difficult piece of skill to pull off. Furlong to Eggley. Eggley first time down the middle. Great ball looking for Hurst. Has he stayed on side? He's battling with Darling. Might be a chance for Philogene! Flags up. He's found the back of the net at Portman Road yet again, Jayden Philogene, but it doesn't count. We are still 0-0 in the derby. 4 of the town subs near side in their orange bibs watching on, just a couple of yards away now from Darnell Furlong as he gives the ball back to O'Shea. O'Shea was risky, it did get to Kayuste. Beautiful spin by the Swede, but Norwich win it back again. This started with poor play from O'Shea. It's Schwartau shooting at the near post, saved by Palmer. Dara O'Shea, goodness me, man. Town attacking the Sir Ralph Ramsey stand. It's 0-0. In comes Philogene's ball towards the far post, headed down. Can anybody touch it towards goal? Yes, they can! Ipswich Town score against Norwich City, and it's Cedric Kipré, the most unlikely Derby Day hero. The centre-half sends Portman Road into raptures. Ipswich Town 1, Norwich City 0. What scenes! Norwich City's third corner kick of this game, trying to draw level with Ipswich Town. The Blues haven't taken the lead about 3 minutes ago in the East Anglian derby. Plenty of players in around the penalty spot off to our left in yellow, being marshalled by those in blue. Ball comes out, there's a driven shot's deflected and in. Norwich score an equaliser 3 minutes after Ipswich Town had taken the lead, and it's Schwartau with his first ever goal for the Canaries. Ipswich Town's lead lasted almost the blink of an eye. It's now Ipswich Town 1, Norwich City 1. Would you believe it? Matson, it goes through his legs. Can Philogene get there first? Yes, he can. Lovely spin from Philogene. 30 yards out, has a go. Oh my word! One of the great derby goals! What a strike from Jayden Philogene! An absolute perler right into the top of the net. Mick Mills applauds, and so does everyone else inside Portman Road. Other than those disbelieving Norwich fans, absolutely crestfallen at that moment of genius. Sublime from Philogene. It's 2-1 Ipswich Town. What a strike!
On BBC Sounds. Savings, credit cards, car finance reclaiming, insurance, investing, power of attorney, decision, indecision, analysis paralysis. Don't panic. The Martin Lewis podcast is now twice weekly, helping you navigate our complex consumer world. In one, I'll walk you through a big money-saving topic step by step. Then, in the new Question Time, you set the agenda and ask whatever's on your mind, within reason. The Martin Lewis podcast, now twice weekly. Listen on BBC Sounds.
We are on air till 3 o'clock with Match Day on BBC Radio Suffolk. We hope during the final hour of the programme we'll be reflecting on an Ipswich Town win in an East Anglian derby. Second half still to come, though, with Town ahead. Let's rejoin Mick Mills and Brenna Woolley at Portman Road.
Same two teams in the sunshine at Portman Road. Palmer in goal for Town, a back four of Furlong, O'Shea, Kipré and Davis. Kipré a goal scorer, made it 1-0. Then you've got Matusiwa and Kayuste. There's Eggley, Schmodix and Philogene, who made it 2-1. George Hurst up top. On the bench, Walton, Nunez, Taylor, Young, Greaves, McAteer, Akpom, Athon and Clark. Norwich have Kovacevic in all orange off to our left. His back four, Stacey, Darling on a yellow, Cordoba and Fisher. Then it's Matson, McLean, Topic are in midfield, Sienat's on the right, Schwartau a goal scorer for the Canaries, and up front Sargent, still a massive threat to Ipswich Town. Josh Sargent hasn't really had a clear sight of goal just yet. Let's hope that continues for another 50 minutes or so. On the bench, Grimshaw, Schlupp, Wright, Mahovo, Makama, Gibbs, Jurasek, Markandes and Medic. Town then in blue, white, blue, getting ready to get the second half underway, playing from right to left. Sam Schmodix over the white ball in the centre of Portman Road. Norwich defending the end off to our left. Their yellow shirts, green shorts and yellow socks. As the ball is rolling once again, the referee Thomas Kirk, his fourth season in the EFL. Did Town's win over Morecambe a few years ago. Come on, a fair bit since then, Ipswich Town as a club, haven't they? Kipré towards Kayuste. Heavy touch from Kiyusik, ball flies out of play next to a microphone underneath us. Kieran McKenna in his black jersey, close to it, grey trousers on, watching his side try to break up this Norwich attack. Here is Sienats trying to thread it through a tiny little gap to Sargent. Matusiwa gets it back to Davis at left back. He'll dig his left boot under the ball and clear towards the halfway line. It grazes the hip of McLean, cleared forward by Cordoba, headed up by Kipre, and then back towards his goalkeeper. A few times, 4 of this town back 5 have played together in the past at West Brom. Furlong, O'Shea, Palmer and Kipre. They should know each other's games well enough. Reeves and Taylor, a couple of town subs in their red bibs, looking on as they wander along this near touchline, early stages of this second half. 1 minute gone, Town still lead 2-1. Can they get a 2-goal advantage? That should be the aim, rather than sitting back on what they hold at the moment. Matusiwa gets it to Eggerly on the far side of the pitch, skips away from Schwartau, square to Kiyuste. Matsson's immediately on him. Now the ball goes back to O'Shea. On the far touchline, Furlong zips the ball up towards Smodics, doesn't control it, breaks back to Eggerly, the edge of the area, in steps Cordoba, cool as a cucumber, and passes the ball out of danger. Kipre is going to be the favourite to get on it, head of Sienats, and whips it back to his goalkeeper Palmer. Relatively heavy touch from Palmer, but put out of play. Rather than trying to be too clever, Palmer did exactly the right thing with his second touch.
Yeah, it was a little bit of aggressive ball back to him, but I think he needed to do that because it was going from a fair distance, from the goalkeeper, so you needed to put plenty of pace on it, but couldn't quite deal with it.
Got a little backheel and fill from Sienats, but Town get the ball back with Alex Palmer in his penalty area off to our right, short to Matusiwa, stands on the ball, changes direction, edge of the area, gives it away, poor from Matusiwa. Maatsen, ball to the edge of the area, Topic, there's a player free inside, well won by Kiyuste, got his mate out of an almighty hole. Well done Jens Kiyuste, gives it to Eggerly on the far side. That was a chance for Norwich to cause problems. Eggerly, lovely ball over the top, down the right to Smodics. Smodics first time for Hurst! Hurst's got a score! Oh, poor from him. It's a really good opportunity for George Hurst to make it 3-1. How much is he going to rue that miss?
Yeah, good combination play by our front two there. Smodics got the run. They both were making good runs, but it was the ball that went to Smodics. Smodics' ball in was exceptional, but for once on these beautiful surfaces, that ball came to Hurst bouncing, and it's always difficult to hit a bouncing ball off your bad foot as well. So, but he's there, he's in a good position. He should have scored, but he's in a good position.
Yeah, you wouldn't bet against him scoring at some point in this game. George Hurst done pretty well. Fisher under pressure from Eggerly, just keeps the ball in play. It's going to need some help. The player behind him, referee's blowing his whistle for a foul on Fisher by Eggerly. Free kick therefore to Norwich over in the far left corner. 3.5 minutes gone in the second half. Town, of course, have only lost that one game so far this season, drawn 4 and won 2 of their 7, just the defeat at Preston. This would be a huge third win out of 8. As I said earlier on, the wider picture takes him up to 9th in the table, just 2 points off the playoffs with a game in hand. O'Shea launches himself at that ball just inside the Town half, headed forward by the opposing captain McLean. Kiyuste wins his header on halfway, but actually ends up back inside the Town half. Matusiwa is out jumped. Philogene tries to win the ball but can't. Haven't seen that goal from Philogene in the first half. It's very, very special indeed. It's what we played back time and time again amongst Town fans, particularly if it's decisive in this game. Norwich taking a bit of a risk at the back, but they've got away with it. McLean through a little gap in midfield to Sienats. Sargent's making a run. Sienats gets away from Kiyuste, dinks his ball into the box. Kipre's header clears it away high onto the chest of Maatsen. Maatsen challenged by Eggerly. High boot by the Norwegian on the Dane. Free kick to Norwich, but it's a good 35 yards out at least.
A little bit unfortunate. I'm not sure whether you're not allowed to go for that sort of high bouncing ball, but the referee obviously didn't like it. Given a free kick, it's very, very central. It's not one you can have a shot from there, but it's got to be a good one to beat the goalkeeper. The angle for a cross is not brilliant.
Similar distance this from which Marcelino Nunez scored in the last derby at Carrow Road. It will take something extraordinarily special for Norwich to score from this. Over the ball are Fisher and McLean. McLean in his third East Anglian derby. It was an unused sub in another one. Referee's happy. Norwich free kick 35 yards from goal, slightly left of centre. You can see the shirts flapping in the wind. McLean plays it to the left-hand side, then it's tucked back to Fisher. Norwich haven't put it into the box yet. Now it does come in from McLean, headed down by Darling, but straight at Palmer, a couple of yards off of his goal line. Wasted from Norwich's perspective. That'll do from Ipswich Town's. Palmer throws the ball to Davis. Davis up towards Philogene. Strong challenge on Philogene by Stacey. He's gone down holding his ankle. Play continues. No free kick given by the referee. Philogene's in quite a bit of pain on all fours. Now sitting up. I think he's going to be okay. 51 minutes gone exactly on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Afterwards, you'll say very, very welcome. 0800 141 2121 is the phone number. Text 81333. Start those messages SFK. Also pop what SFK to start your WhatsApp. So 8000 321 333. And if you want to be involved in the Blue Hour tomorrow night between 6 and 7 on BBC Radio Suffolk and BBC Sounds, you can email me, brenner@bbc.co.uk. It'd be lovely to have your company. Norwich progressing the ball down the right-hand side. Cianat's edge of the box. Almost loses it. Then he does. Sargent wins it back for the Canaries. Matson. Plenty of players back in blue off to our right-hand side. Norwich have the ball with Schwartau inside the Ipswich Town box. Little tuck-back ball. A chance and opening a shot, and it's wide. Might have grazed the side netting. It was Topic who drove it towards goal. Didn't look too far away.
No, he didn't. He wasn't far away, and he's done really well, and the whole sort of Norwich team did well in that attack. They actually do pass the ball around better than what we are on this particular day. They're more progressive, that's the thing. We're not progressive enough.
2-1 Town as Alex Palmer takes this goal kick. Hurst battling with Darling. Remember Darling on a yellow card, a silly one as well it was in that first half. Matson checks all round about him, sees that Philogene's closing him down from behind, releases the ball to Cianats. Now it goes back to Kovacevic. Out to his left-hand side, Cordoba. The big man can stretch and carry it forward a few yards. Came back in action a week on Friday at Middlesbrough. It's the international break on the horizon. Fisher gets in field away from Eggly, then plays it straight at Kiyuste, whose touch finds Matusiwa. Schmodix on the right wing for Ipswich Town, far side in front of the cobbled stand, held up by Cordoba. Going in behind is Eggly. Brilliant play from Schmodix. No, just too much on the pass. Unlucky. The idea was right. Great run from the Norwegian, well spotted by Schmodix, and sadly it just fizzled out as a move. Yeah,
unlucky. You know, there's a decent run. The ball is not quite right, but it's progressive. It's good. It's sharp. It's good off the ball running. Just need a little bit more accuracy, and then you're really sort of getting the play right.
Kovacevic inside his 18-yard area, off to a left, clear centrally for Norwich. Flick header on from Sargent, who needed another Josh Sargent in front of him, or at least a teammate galloping into that space to make anything of it. In the end, it's back with Palmer, who'll waste a bit of time by drawing Sargent into him. And it's Ipswich with O'Shea. Spreads play to the far side, and Furlong. Furlong goes back to O'Shea. Plenty of championship experience in this back line of Ipswich Town. Town passing it around inside their area. Palmer back to O'Shea. Norwich pressing and winning the ball. Poor from Ipswich Town. Palmer blocks off Sargent. Oh, shakes of the head all round there. That was poor from Ipswich Town. They've given Norwich City a corner, but it could have been even worse.
Well, it's obviously working on the training ground better than it is on the match day, because this is really, really poor play at the back.
Town almost getting themselves undone, giving Norwich a gilt-edged opportunity to score a second equaliser. Of course, Norwich might now belatedly score a second equaliser from this corner kick, a very cheap corner kick that Ipswich Town have handed them as well. Norwich in its swings off to our right-hand side, headed away well by O'Shea. Matson is there to nod it back into the box. Again, O'Shea rises, strong header away from the Irish international. Another Irish international, Schmodix, challenges Matson. Matson goes down, gets back up again. Schmodix sees the ball go out for a throw-in at left back to Ipswich Town. The referee wants to sort something or other out. Matson felt aggrieved, felt that he should have been given a free kick. I think the referee just wants to check that Matson's okay, because he did seem to take a knock to the head in amongst all of that.
Yeah, he was. He probably might have been right about sort of maybe a little bit of a free kick being given, but then he tried to take the game into his own hands by laying on the ball. You know, that's his fault. He's got hurt. the referee didn't deal with it quick enough.
35 minutes to go in this East Anglian derby, plus added on time. 2-1, none of us will be counting our chickens until the full-time whistle. Many of us will remember Tim Close's late equaliser for Norwich at Carrow Road, February 2018 that was, after Luke Chambers had put Ipswich Town ahead in something like the 89th minute. We all thought the run was over then, but it wasn't. Town need to be at least a couple of goals ahead by that stage before we start to think about this run being over. As Philogene holds on to Darling. Quickly taken free kick by Norwich. Fisher to the far side. Schwartau high up towards Sargent. Sargent touches it beyond Kipway, but O'Shea is covering him behind, and he'll give it back towards Palmer. Palmer boots it to the far side. Furlong challenges Schwartau. Both go down to ground. The referee says play on. And now it's with Kenny McLean. I think we've played quite a bit in defence the last time these two sides met. Very much back at home in midfield nowadays. O'Shea forward. Cordoba battling with Schmodix, headed on by her. Schmodix is in behind. Darling holds him up. He shoots across the face of goal, Schmodix, and it's a comfortable one for the keeper, Kovacevic, to snuff out, and then ball underarm to Stacey. Stacey bypasses Kayuste with a ball downfield, but Davis is more than equal to it against Sienats, then takes charge with a second header, but Norwich might come away with the ball. Philogene battles for it. Looked like a handball by Sienats, not given by the officials. Martin Pertz sprung up off of his seat, got his baseball cap on down below, applauding his players. Kieran McKenna once more scratches his head. Darling downfield, trying to get in behind his Schwartau, brings the ball down edge of the area, gets there ahead again a fellow goal scorer, Kipre. Eventually Philogene wins it for Ipswich Town. Stacey has a nibble at him. Philogene's done well to get it back to Kipre. Kipre across the edge of his 18-yard area, springs the ball out to Furlong, who is in a rush to get to halfway, then gives it to Eggerly. 12 minutes gone in the second half. Can Town get a 2-goal lead? Eggerly puts it in behind. That was the intention for her. It's not the right angle though. And it's back with the man in all orange, Kovacevic.
Yeah, we've run the ball nicely to the right-hand side. We give it to Eggerly. He steps inside nicely. The run is there, but the execution was really poor from Eggerly. You know, if he could get his pass right, that was a decent attack.
Norwich playing it out from the back. Now Stacey's got open grass to run into. Gets up to halfway, goes way beyond at the right back. Infield to Sienats. The ball then behind Stacey. Stacey out to the left-hand side. Schwartau outside the Ipswich Town area. Good play from Norwich. In comes his cross towards Sargent. Just eased off the ball by Davis. Fully legal challenge. Sargent in the end wasn't quite tall enough, and it's a goal kick to Palmer.
Yeah, that was a real threat. They've got a hold of the ball down this right side. They've worked it across the pitch. Then there's a beautiful overlap on the far side, a little bit like Leif Davis does for us. And then the guy on the ball, if you like, there, Philogene steps in, puts the ball into the box and causes a little bit of a threat in our penalty area. I keep saying it, they are more progressive and smoother, working the ball from one end of the pitch to the other end.
Yeah, they're a better team than a lot of Town fans will have given them credit for heading into this game. But at the moment it's the Norwich fans that are silent, because their side is 2-1 behind with 90 seconds of the first hour to go in this derby. As the ball evades Sienats, he then slips, so too Leif Davis, but he was being held back by Sienats, well spotted by the referee. Free kick on the halfway line to Ipswich Town. They've got McAteer, Young, Akpom, Clark, Nunez, Athon, pretty much all the outfield subs out and active down below us.
While you were talking, Kieran McKenna was looking at his watch, so I think you're sort of thinking the same things as what he's thinking.
Out to the far side, Palmer hits a pass to Furlong. Furlong loses the ball against Schwartau. Schwartau with a little back heel. Topic, the one change pre-match for Norwich, gives it to McLean. Back in field to Schwartau, who made it 1-1 after 35 minutes. Philogene with a blockbuster hit just before half-time. Made the score 2-1 as we are still at now. Kayuste slides, wins the ball. Eggerly running with it freely on the far side. The teenager cutting in field, still Sandra Waller-Eggerly hitting it against the defender Cordoba. Matson waiting for the challenge of Kayuste to come in. Norwich get it back on the far side with Fisher. He finds Cordoba. Kayuste goes to try to win the ball. He doesn't quite manage it. Cordoba got a bit fortunate there. It could have easily gone Ipswich Town's way. Cordoba's had a great run up to the middle third. Norwich have it with Topic. Now Schwartau back to Fisher making run far side is Stacey, but the pass from Fisher tried to initially find Sienats. Furlong goes back to Palmer and tells him exactly what to do with it, and that's swing out the pass in the opposite angle to Kipré. The big man jogging up to halfway. Kipré to the left-hand side. Leif Davis. Davis puts it in behind for Hurst. The flag has stayed down. Hurst inside the Norwich area. The angle isn't good. He squares it to the far stick, and Fisher takes it away from Eggely. Kieran McKenna can't believe that chance has gone begging. Town in the second phase. Eggely knocks it in, deflects off a Norwich player. Norwich should clear it away. And one of the Ipswich Town analysts to my left-hand side bangs the desk in sheer frustration that his side didn't score there. Wide right, Ipswich cross the ball in from Furlong towards Hurst, headed away by Darling to Philogene! He gets underneath it from 18 yards. He hit it well, but it was just over the bar. The one player who wanted that chance to drop to, really, but even Jaden Philogene couldn't hit the back of the net on that occasion.
Well, this has been a good sort of moment for Town, and Hurst has got himself into a wonderful position. I was staggered that he tried to sort of square the ball. I don't know what he saw out of the corner of his eye. All he needed to do was either go underneath the goalkeeper or over the goalkeeper, but make his mind up and score a goal. That's all he had to do, you know. It was as simple as that. And then, of course, we've had another opportunity as well from our man Philogene.
It's just a couple of good chances in this game. He really has. Norwich about to make a change. I think it's Jurasek is coming on there, number 10. Stacey overlapping down the right-hand side in a bit of space as Sienats gets to the dead ball line outside the Ipswich Town area, crosses off Davis. Stacey pulls it back. Matson low into the box, the flick on from Topic. Topic still has the ball, back to goal. All hands on deck for Ipswich Town. They lead 2-1. Stacey left-footed shoots, headed down and away by Kipré. Nodded back to the edge of the box. Siwa now takes charge. Kipré stayed down after heading that ball away when it was driven straight at him. And he's going to get some treatment as Maciej Jurasek comes on for Norwich.
Yeah, a couple of nice pieces of defending by Ipswich then, when they had good control of the ball just around our penalty area, and you know, you always felt that there might be a good cross in one of them, you know, and so we had to defend well. When it was cleared, we had to go and get an early block in. We did all that well, and then we sort of come away with the ball, which was the right thing to do. But this is not as comfortable as one would have wanted it to be. I just wonder if Kieran will make some substitutions. They've got to be the right ones. You know, we're winning the game. We must improve with the substitutions, not go backwards.
The first change has come, but it's from the visitors' bench. And Maciej Jurasek, a Czech international winger, has come on for their goal scorer Oscar Schwartau, like for like. So Jurasek is going to have a run down the left-hand side. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in attendance once more, watching his mate Kieran McKenna here. Hopefully got Ipswich Town to their first derby win for 16 and a half years. Kipper's coming off near side, but he's going to be all right to carry on. Understandably, he wanted to be checked out. Of course, a little break in play as well is not going to do Ipswich Town too much harm. Kipper made it 1-0. Schwartau made it 1-1 3 minutes later, and then Jaden Philogene with one of the great derby goals gave Ipswich Town this current 2-1 advantage. We're 64 minutes into this game on BBC Radio Suffolk. Foul for a hefty challenge by Fisher, going over the top of Eggely. It's in a position where, coincidentally, pre-match Ipswich Town were practicing so many free kicks from almost that blade of grass towards the north stand end. Time and time again, they had players in the mix with numerous members of staff acting as defenders against them. So they're well versed in this kind of set piece, Ipswich Town. Let's see if they can convert one of these chances when it really, really matters in the heat of an East Anglian derby against Norwich City. Eggely and Furlong over this free kick. 26 minutes to go. If Town can get a 2-goal advantage, they are in a great position to finally go on and end this hold that Norwich City have over them. Let's see who's going to be taking this free kick. The referee seems pretty happy. Is it Furlong or is it Eggely? And what can the boys in the centre do? It's Furlong who puts it in. O'Shea tried the flick on header, came off Maatsen, touched down well by Kipri. Lovely little touch towards fellow goal scorer Philogene. Philogene has the ball on the left-hand side, gives it back to Leif Davis, sets himself a couple of times, then whips in a diagonal into the Norwich area. Smodix goes towards it, goes down in the box, and it goes as far as Furlong, judging the bouncing ball against pressure from Sargent. Egerly shoots, lifting it over the top of his man. Lovely play from Egerly. Egerly gets inside the box, might fancy having a crack, doesn't now, gives it to Furlong. Furlong tries to drill it into the middle, flag's gone up against Ipswich Town for an offside, I'm assuming. Norwich free kick.
Yeah, I think both the players that ended up on the right-hand side both knew they were in an offside position and were hoping that Egerly was going to totally ignore them and just go and have a shot. He didn't manage to get the space to get a clear shot, and then ended up playing the ball into the wide area, which, you know, was always going to be offside.
Mick Mills with me on BBC Radio Suffolk, watching Ipswich Town 2, Norwich City 1. Mick will be back here to watch Charlton on a Tuesday night in a couple of weeks' time, after Alex Matthews with me at the Riverside. Town's next game is away to high-flying Middlesbrough, who surprisingly lost perhaps yesterday at Portsmouth. Davis towards Philogene, tries the step over to try to flounder Stacey. Stacey looking forward towards Sargent, well defended by Kiprit, then Kayusto just has to put it under play under pressure from Stacey. Approaching the final quarter of this game, live on BBC Radio Suffolk. I'll be back with you tomorrow night on the Blue Hour between 6 and 7. Email brenner@bbc.co.uk to get in touch for that. Phone number for later on, 0800 141 2121, or you can text 81333, start those messages. SFK, WhatsApp's 08000 321 333, again start those SFK. Fisher goes back to his goalkeeper Kovacevic, closed down by Hurst, just drops his shoulder and beats him, then passes it up to Matusiwa, the goalkeeper. Matusiwa finds Furlong. Town 23 minutes exactly away from a sizable win, a massive win. On the centre spot, Matusiwa. Through a little gap to Philogene. Philogene gets away from one player, stands on the ball, twists, catches his man. Free kick given against Philogene for the loose leg as he pirouetted on top of the ball. He caught McLean, who's in a bit of pain. Referee wants a word with Jayden Philogene about reckless play.
Yeah, it was one you couldn't see from a distance, but the referee was very, very close to that, and he's just sort of raised his foot a little bit. It looked as if he had done the right thing and he was going to keep possession of the ball, but I don't really see what he's done wrong there.
Accidentally caught him as he tried to pretty much do a full 360 on top of the ball. Norwich with McLean back up on his feet, bit of a grimace, bit of a smile on his face, trying to get things going. He's directly between the two Norwich City centre halves. Cordoba, back it goes, as do the Ipswich Town substitutes towards the bench near side. Clark looking ready to come on for Town. I wonder if this is going to be Marcelino Nunez's moment. It is. The Chilean, who started the season for Norwich, scored a goal for Norwich, is about to play for Ipswich Town in the East Anglian derby, the match winner for Norwich. The last time these two sides met, before he controversially moved south of the Waveney in the summer. Nunez, the number 32, is about to come on, and we can all imagine what the reaction is going to be like. Matusiwa to the right-hand side, Schmodix, Hurst in the centre, first time in from Schmodix, out as far as Philogene inside the area. Behind him is Davis. Philogene sets it up for Kayuste, tries to pass it in towards the net. It came off a Norwich player and looped up in the air nicely for Kovacevic, but another chance for Town.
Yeah, it was a good break. We were unlucky, really. They didn't come to anything then, but that was better.
So Athon is coming on as well. So too McAteer. But this triple change is all going to be about Nunez. Town might be able to get in behind now. They can't. Just Hurst and Schmodix both caught on their heels, but I don't think even if they'd been alert to that one, wouldn't have got there. Stacey for Norwich are about to bring on Mahovo. Stacey gets the better of Davis, holding off Philogene. Stacey wide right outside the Ipswich Town area. It's been a long run, plays it off Philogene. And that's the second corner kick of this second half.
Yeah, I think that was a ball that Leif Davis should have won comfortably. He's taken his eyes off the ball. He's almost felt that he didn't have to make a tackle, but I can tell him he did. And he should have done. He's hurt himself because he didn't go in as he should have done.
Mahovo coming on for Norwich, actually going to make a double change. He's largely a left-back, former Notts County player. The other player coming on for them is Jovan Makama, a striker who came from Lincoln in the summer, had a very good season last year for Lincoln City. Town's triple change is also waiting. In the final 20 minutes of this East Anglian derby, Norwich City have a corner kick by the tunnel off to our right-hand side, trying to draw level for a second time in this game. In it comes, headed away off the near post by Furlong, hit by Matson back into a dangerous area. Stretching and diverting behind is Matu Siwa, so Town have to do some more alert and concentrated defending from this set piece.
Yeah, they're trying desperately to put the pressure on the goalkeeper. They have 6 in the penalty area, 5 of them actually attack or stand in the 6-yard box, and they only have 1 loose player, and who's actually, he's out of the box at the moment, but he makes a run in corridor.
It's gone rather dark at Portman Road. Norwich take this corner kick in. It zips headed away by Hurst, onto the bar actually from Hurst. It went up and over. So corner kick number 4 of the half, the 3rd in quick succession for Norwich, as Mahovo, Makama and more importantly Nunez, Clark and Athon get ready to come on down below us.
They're making it difficult for us from these corners, because they are really packing our 6-yard box. They've got 6 in there this time, or going to go in there.
It was 2-2 the last time these two sides met at Portman Road in Ipswich Town's promotion season of a couple of years ago. That's the scoreline that Norwich City are targeting in the short term. They've got a corner kick with 18.5 minutes to go at Portman Road, where the sun has disappeared. A couple of players go down inside the box, McLean and Philogene. The referee wants to sort out exactly what's going on there between those two. Town have got all 10 blue shirts back, incidentally, as tends to be the way. Yellow cards for both McLean and Jaden Philogene.
But the problem we have is that because they put this 6 close to the 6-yard box, either close or in it, they then keep 2 on the 18-yard box or just outside, and we are so hell-bent on the in-the-box scene that I bet you this will be cleared and one of the fringe players would help it back in, and they'll have a second bite of the cherry.
McLean and Philogene still tangling. 2 unlikely bedfellows, those two. The referee has sorted stuff out. At last, Norwich City, through Eurosec, are going to get the chance to take this corner kick. They trail 2-1. Lowitt comes in. McLean tried to flick on. It's come directly off of him. No, says the referee. It came off his mate Philogene. It's another corner kick to Norwich City. Ipswich Town just can't deal with this one and see it away.
They were lucky there. That was an awful corner, and they just fortunately got a ricochet.
Eurosec with another corner kick for Norwich City, knocking on the door, trying to level for a second time. Towards the far stick it goes. Well held by Alex Palmer. That's what we all needed. Well done.
Very good take by Palmer, but you should never float a ball in when you've got a box scene of that nature.
Ball up to halfway, far side. Smodix for Ipswich Town, looping over the top towards Eggerly. Eggerly waits for the ball to arrive against Fisher, brings it down, flag goes up against him, and now finally all these changes can be made. First one is going to be made down below us for Ipswich Town. It's Hurst to be replaced by Athon. And the next one, as the board goes up, Kayuste goes off to be replaced by Marcelino Nunez. We all know what's coming when the Chilean sets foot on the pitch, as he now represents both Norwich City and Ipswich Town in an East Anglian derby. Jack Clark is on for Sindra Wana-Eggerly. There's the roar from the Portman Road crowd greeting Nunez's arrival. So Makama and Mahovo come on for Norwich City. By the looks of things, it is Fisher, I think, who has gone off. Certainly the other Norwich change is Sienats is still on there. Topic, has he gone off, perhaps? I think Topic is the other player that's gone off for them. 15 minutes to go All change at Portman Road, live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Still Jayden Philogene goal, this stunning goal before half-time, separates these two sides in the East Anglian derby. How nervy and how horrible is added-on time going to be if it's still this scoreline? Fingernails at the ready. Throw in, which Mahovo is going to be taken. Can play in midfield. He just gives the ball back to his goalkeeper, Kovacevic. Jacob Greaves goes for a sprint near side. Still one of the Ipswich Town dormant substitutes. Mahovo up towards halfway, intercepted by O'Shea. Town are unlucky to get the ball. Makama comes back. It's a big tall lad, Makama. Stacey back to centre half, and Darling kept his nose fairly clean. Darling is picking up that really daft early yellow card. McLean almost as a third centre half, sitting very deep in a quarterback role, shy of halfway. All of the Newtown players desperate to get their first touch in an East Anglian derby. I think you'll hear, listening at home or in the car or wherever, when Marcelino Nunez gets his ball over the top from Cordoba. It skips off the surface and back to Alex Palmer.
Yeah, this will be interesting. Both teams have made a lot of substitutions. It's just down to which team improves.
Davis gets the better of Makama. Great strong run, tries to play it up towards Athon. Smodics was in behind. Darling gets on the ball for Norwich City. Oh, heavy touch from Darling, made a right mess of that. Went straight to Matusiwa. Nunez for Ipswich Town, ball through to Athon. Dragger stayed down just on as a sub, and he puts it off the post. Jack Clark scores! Jack Clark for Ipswich Town in the East Anglian derby. And look at the Ipswich Town bench. You can see what that means to Kieran McKenna. He's got Ipswich Town promoted twice in the past. He's led them in the Premier League, but he's never won an East Anglian derby. Is today the day? Ipswich Town lead Norwich City by 3 goals to 1 with 13 minutes to go.
Yeah, great goal. Their right side of defence has vacated. Nunez gets possession of it. There's 2 runs made into that space, and we've sort of, the ball's good, the runs are good. Azon's unlucky with his initial shot, but the follow-up is excellent by Clark, who actually starts on the left-hand side of Azon and finishes on his right-hand side. So that's good, willing running from Clark. Really good.
Well, Tim Closer Day was heartbreaking. This will take it to a new level if Ipswich Town don't win this one this afternoon. For not one single second am I saying the 3 points are in the bag and the run is over, but they have a 2-goal advantage with 12 minutes to go. I'm really pleased for Jack Clark as well, another player who's got a fair bit of stick since he arrived at Ipswich Town, just like Jayden Philogene. Clark, who's delighted as manager of late in terms of the way he's approached games coming off the bench, gets it back to Palmer, ball out on the far side. And he was on that list of players that I mentioned earlier on that has scored against Norwich in the past. He's his first touch since coming on, as Athon's was against the post.
Well, all 3 subs had a heavy contribution with that, so a manager will always be pleased with that. You've got Nunez made the pass, Azon hit the shot on the post, and Clark puts it in the back of the net. Couldn't be better.
Philogene loses the ball to Mahovo, but illegally. Philogene, incidentally, has gone across the right-hand side. Clark down the left. And it's a free kick over on the far side to Ipswich Town. Now that things have settled down, looking at Kieran's expression, wouldn't have Town with 3-1 up or 3-1 behind. O'Shea, ball up towards Athon. And as far as Philogene, tormenting his man far side, taking him on. Philogene, brilliant, just too good, gets the byline, but Mahovo comes back, give him credit. Philogene's won a corner kick off from him though. Town's first of the second half.
Yeah, now sort of, make this pay. Don't be soft with this corner kick now. Put your big boys in there and see if we can get a 4th one. This is an opportunity to absolutely kill the game off.
What an atmosphere inside Portman Road. It is absolutely rocking. Town have a corner kick in the 80th minute. They lead Norwich City 3-1 live on BBC Radio Suffolk. The referee wants to sort out something on this near side. Let's have a word with one of his staff, his 4th official, passing something over to him. doesn't want a word with either manager. It would have been a massive surprise if he'd had to tell either Liam Manning or Kieran McKenna to watch their lip. Two top men, the pair of them. Saying something actually to the goalkeeper, Kovacevic, not sure what that's all about. All eyes over in the far left corner of Portman Road. Marcelino Nunez on this corner kick for Ipswich Town. And it comes right-footed from him. It's a header from Aston! It was just wide of the far post. Good connection from the Spaniard as well, glancing and not a million miles away.
Yeah, good run to the near post, and he got just enough on it for me. I thought it was going to just creep into the far corner, but it just went wide of the post. But it was a good, accurate corner, you know, that hit a very good run.
Mahova, left back being pegged back, great pressing from Ipswich Town. Smodic still doing a great job on that front as well. Sargent with the chest down, Matusiwa to Nunez, infield to Clark, brought down by the former Sunderland player. Smodic wants it in behind. Clark goes down, it's a free kick to Town outside the box. And at the moment, if we are to see a fifth goal in this game, it looks more likely to come from the home team.
Well, these two have started. They've got us going, these two. And when I was looking at the bench and I was thinking who could make a contribution, and for me, it was always going to be Jack Clark and Nunez. And as long as Nunez's head was right, it would lift us. It would give us something different. And already they have. You know, Kajus was going out of the game without question. Nunez has come on. He's getting more and more touches than Kajus had. And Clark is just picking up lovely positions and running the ball and causing problems.
Looking back, I don't know if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has seen anything other than Ipswich Town win when he's watched him in the past. I think you see it for the Sheffield United game, and it rings a bell that he's had success in the past. So I wonder what he's doing a week on Friday, and then the following Tuesday night, should maybe get him on the payroll and make him come a bit more often, the Norwegian. Free kick to Ipswich Town, 82 minutes gone in the East Anglian derby. It's the former Norwich City player, Marcelino Nunez, who is over this. The Canaries fans fearing the worst. He scored in the last derby when wearing a yellow shirt. Can he now do it in the blue of Ipswich Town, or will it be Leif Davis? It's Nunez who gets it up, it hits the wall, out as far as Kipre, gives it to fellow goal scorer Clark. Clark down the left-hand side, holds on to it, infield to Nunez. Nunez back to Davis. Town camped inside the Norwich half of the field, the better team comfortably. Furlong has a go, deflects off McCarmer. Another corner kick to Ipswich Town. That'll do us absolutely fine with 7.5 to go.
Well, we said which three substitutes would lift their team. Would it be the Norwich three or the Ipswich three? Well, it's definitely the Ipswich three. We needed the subs more than what the Norwich team needed them, and our three have been very, very positive.
Referee's coming across again to this near side. Having a word with some official down below us. Something to do with Kovacevic in the box off to your left. I hope there's nobody doing anything stupid in terms of throwing stuff onto the pitch there. There's clearly an issue with the penalty area off to our left. As Chuba Akpom is getting ready to come on. He'll be facing his former side a week on Friday. Get a word or two from Kieran McKenna before he does, potentially for Schmodic's, one would imagine. 84th minute. Corner kick to Ipswich Town. Davis whips it in right under the bar. Kovacevic touches it away, needs to be headed out behind by Stacey. Could have easily gone in for 4.
Yeah, I like that corner kick. You know, when you've got sort of the opposition have got a dodgy goalkeeper, that is the ideal corner kick. Right underneath his crossbar with pace.
2009, April 2009, the last time Ipswich Town beat Norwich City. Oasis have split up and reformed since Ipswich Town last beat Norwich City. Gordon Brown was the Prime Minister the last time Ipswich Town beat Norwich City, but they are close this afternoon. They are very close. 6 minutes plus added on time to go. They have a 2-goal cushion. Can they make it 3 from this corner? And then surely it is all over. Nunez pulls the corner kick back to Davis, controls it with studs of his left boot, back to the Chilean. In it comes from Nunez, headed up by Cordoba. Ball still alive inside his area. Smodic's missed it on the bounce back header attempted by O'Shea. O'Shea tries to thread it through to Smodic's, cleared away. Smodic's so frustrated again. He's felt that he's been a whisker away from some really good chances this afternoon to break his duck for the season. Akpom still waits. Wide on the right-hand side. Feligene on the ball against Cordoba. Crosses left-footed towards the far stick, and Clark just wasn't tall enough out for goal kick.
Well, this is better. Since the substitutions have been made, the game has been in the half attacking the North Stand. That's where we should have been for the entire game, in the attacking half. You know, we're really they are Norwich have gone because they possibly expected more than this. They haven't got it, and they look a very despondent side.
Deserves this round of applause, Sam Smollett. He has worked his socks off for the cause. Big handshake and hug from Kieran McKenna. Chuba Akpom comes on for Ipswich Town and drifts up there, playing just off of Athon. But at the moment, I can't remember the last time I looked to my right-hand side, as in the half that Alex Palmer is in. He's been totally underworked in recent times. Long may that continue. 29,809. Town 3-1 up. Paul from Nunez gives the ball away live on BBC Radio Suffolk after his 0800 141 2121. Have a chat to Mick and Graham, and I'll get some reaction from downstairs, hopefully in amongst some joyous scenes in and around the home dressing room. As Norwich passing it around on the edge of their box. 4 minutes plus added on time away from their first derby defeat in 15 matches. Matson through halfway, in flies Matthew Seawer. Good player, this lad, I like him a lot. Palmer bangs it forward, first time out on the far side for a Norwich throw. And I wouldn't imagine when the board goes up just before the 90th minute it's going to be anything excessive. It shouldn't be anything daft. We've had 4 breaks for substitutes, just the 1 goal celebration. The game has flowed, thankfully. Oh, terrible throw straight to Philogene. That'll do for us though. Athon infield to Clark. Can he get ahead of Stacey? No, Stacey just a smidgen ahead of him. O'Shea wins a header against Sargent. Matthew Seawer stretches, gets the ball to Philogene, holds it up but then loses it. Matthew Seawer wins it back in midfield. Nunez to the centre spot, and Kipri, who got the first goal of the 4 that we've seen, 3 of them for Ipswich Town. Philogene and Clark also on the score sheet. Palmer to the right hand side with O'Shea. Long he goes, he's caught late as he by Sargent, right in front of the Norwich fans. He certainly won't get any sympathy, the Ipswich Town captain. If he wants a little word with the American striker, as Liam Manning scratches the back of his head. His unbeaten away run, he was under serious threat, just putting more and more pressure on their forthcoming matches. Got Bristol City next, Norwich City. Town at the moment in the live table 9th, 2 points off the playoffs, and of course we're still waiting to hear when that game in hand will be played. And in fact, indeed, if Blackburn have launched any kind of appeal against that decision. Free kick in front of right back for Ipswich Town. Palmer to take it. Portman Road in fine fettle. Here he comes. Of course, it was 3-2 the last time Ipswich Town beat Norwich. Athon with a back header on, clipped away. That was Alan Quinn, Giovanni Dos Santos and John Stead with the goals. McCarmer coming forward for Norwich, but surrounded by 3 players. 2 of them have been on since 12 o'clock. Matthew Seawer and Davis. Clark shields the ball away from Stacey, and then knocked to the floor by Stacey. Wins a free kick. Kieran McKenna sort of signalling to calm things down to his players.
Stacey was a little bit embarrassed about that. He got a little bit violent.
90 seconds of the 90 minutes to go. Kieran McKenna now being a bit lively, telling Ivan Athon exactly where he wants him. There's a front 4 of Philogene, Akpom, Athon and Clark, stretching Norwich off to our left. Forward the ball comes from Palmer, headed on by Athon. Should be won by McLean, it is. Matthew Seawer wins it. But then Norwich break up to the halfway line with Cianat. Now they've got 3-on-2. A chance for Norwich to pull one back. Cianat shoots wide. Palmer didn't have to make the save. He was covering his near post, but that was a real chance to put a few nerves in the hearts and minds of Ipswich Town folk.
Yeah, very much so. I think they got away with a little incident near the halfway line there. I thought that possibly was a foul for Town, but they capitalised on it. They had 2 players who could have gone and ran the ball. In the end, it was run really well, and they got themselves in for a shot. You know, it was a bit of a threat.
Goal kick to Alex Palmer. We're 20 seconds away from the board going up to tell us how many minutes are going to be added on. Town 3-1 ahead. Clark has given them serious breathing space towards the end of this game. Norwich can't keep the ball in, far side. Ipswich Town throw. Norwich fans looking rather glum on the monitor in front of me. Let's see what the number is. It's 5. That was the maximum I was expecting. Wouldn't surprise me if it had been maybe 4. But okay, let's see how Town manage the rest of this game. That's what it's all about, managing these next 300 seconds or so. Just getting this one over the line. Corner over in the far left-hand side, the joint of North Stand and Cobbled Stand. Fans bouncing up and down. They've started the celebrations early as O'Shea hooks the ball forward on the far side. Philogene, goal scorer in the first half, finds Nunez. Nunez held up by his former teammate McLean. Nunez still has the ball, goes square in the sunshine to Philogene. Then Akpom, edge of the area. To the left-hand side, it's Davis. Town fancy a fourth if they can get one to well and truly stitch up some Derby delight. Philogene can't get through. Ball comes back to Nunez, being challenged by Matson. Now it's with O'Shea. Town playing keep ball inside the Norwich half of the field. They've seen the first minute of the 5 through unharmed. Matusiwa to Athol, back it goes to Matusiwa, over the top towards Philogene, who looked to be onside, goes after the ball, tucks it into the middle, the flag now comes up. Just waiting for that moment.
They seem to enjoy that linesman, don't they? They're just taunt you with not putting the flag up.
Cedric Kipre awarded man of the match here this afternoon. I suppose they can't keep on giving it to Jayden Philogene. Been a number of good performances for Ipswich Town. Oh, poor clearance from Norwich. Akpom inside the area. Chance to make it 4-1. Blocked by the feet of Kovacevic. And it's out on the far side. 40 through to Ipswich Town. By far the better side. By far the more threatening side in this second half.
Yeah, it took the substitutions to do it, really, because it was still sort of maybe Norwich were not the better side, but they were smoother and better looking than Town, and Town was sort of playing a little bit slowly, I thought, you know, but definitely the substitutions have really added something, and the whole game is in the attacking half.
Of course, the substitutes all started on Tuesday night, so method in Kieran McKenna's madness. Who'd have thought he knows what he's doing? To throw in to Ipswich Town by the corner flagger of the far left corner, almost at the midway point of this Added On 5 live on BBC Radio Suffolk. We are seeing Ipswich Town head towards their first victory over Norwich City for 16 years. Furlong to Matusiwa. And as I say, in the last few minutes the sun has come out once. Well, we started this game in brilliant sunshine, went cloudy, went dark for a while, but now the sun is shining on Ipswich Town Football Club in every sense of the phrase. Kovacevic in front of the North Stand, right-footed, clears the ball up to the centre circle. Header on from Matson. Kipre man of the match. Sees it back towards Palmer, the goalkeeper. So it might be a little while before Jacob Greaves gets himself back in. Unless Kieran makes lots of changes from Middlesbrough to Charlton, of course. Athon battling well against Darling. Trying to then get onto the ball, thread it through to Akpom. Nunez wins it in midfield. Nunez over the top. There are 2 Town players there. Akpom's going to get there at Athon. Wide on the left-hand side. Akpom has it. Final 90 seconds. Davis low into the area. Jack Clark stretches, holds it up, turns back to goal. 20 yards out. Clark still has it. And then he passes it behind Leif Davis. TV cameras already zooming in on Kieran McKenna down below us. But he's still more than a minute away from kicking off the celebrations. Davis up into the clouds. Athon against Darling. Darling heads it away. Nunez picks it down, has it go from a long way out, trying to outdo Philogene for the best goal in the Derby in living memory. But that was off target, but that's all right. He's still getting his customary chant of Nunez, Nunez.
Nunez scored that one last night in his sleep.
He did, didn't he? It was 1-1 when he banged that one in as well, in the 90th minute. But it's 3-1 this afternoon in reality. Sargent with Norwich for Norwich. To the right side, Stacey towards the edge of the Ipswich area. Stacey, low ball into the box to Makama. Some blue shirts back. Stacey's carried on his run, cleared away by Nunez as far as Akpom. Akpom is manhandled by Matson, and then Akpom has a bit to say for himself. He's just got to walk away from that. Thankfully, Kipre stepped in there. The referee's unhappy with a quickly taken free kick. Well, ladies and gentlemen, particularly those of an entire generation, it is about to happen. Ipswich Town are about to score more goals than Norwich City in a 90-minute game of football. It's been a long, long time coming, but it's happened here at Portman Road, the 5th of October 2025. It's almost worth the bank holiday next year, and there is confirmation that Norwich City's 16-year hold over Ipswich Town is over. Ipswich Town win the East Anglian derby, and deservedly so. At the 15th time of asking, the heroes in blue down there have done the job, and once more Ipswich Town is the pride of Anglia.
Well, you know, can't say that, you know, now that we've won the game, everything was right about the game.
Come on, you've got to be happy.
I'm happy, but I've got to tell you about how the game sort of went on. You know, it was we made it difficult, but I've got to admit the substitutes did exactly what, you know, their job is. You know, we needed a change. We needed a change in the attack. We needed a change in the type of player that could take the ball from one half to the other half, either by a dribble or a pass or whatever. And then we managed to do it. Nunes came on, Azon came on, and Clark came on, and all three of them started well when they came off the bench and finished well, you know, and so that was the difference with the result. You know, I thought Norwich actually played a decent game, better than I thought they would have done. I think that we made life hard for ourselves, but in the end, the result is the all-important thing, and we've got it, and we've got it because, you know, we've won. Kipri finishes from a set play. That's part of his job. Defending is the greater part, but he's got to be effective on set plays, otherwise it's a waste of time going up there. He didn't waste his time, he put it into the back of the net, and then the other goal, and I think he deserved 2 goals, because I think the one that was disallowed, which would have been the first goal of the day, I think was fair enough. But he had that one disallowed, but there's no way anybody was going to interfere with his goal. Philogene absolutely hit it from probably 30 yards, and it beat the keeper comfortably. Then, you know, all we sort of, you know, we found out after that, or before that, their goalkeeper was suspect, and I always felt that as long as we could put enough pressure on their goalkeeper, we could win the game. And in the end, it's perfect. You know, we've ended up with the 3 points, a win against the enemy, and it's a decisive win as well. It's 3 goals to 1. It's exactly what the punters wanted. We can now sort of put it to bed and wait for the return later on in the season, when I hope that we will be actually in better nick then. You know, I still don't think we've quite put it together as a team. I think there's an awful lot of work to be done. So let's see what happens in the future. But as far as today is concerned, we've won the game. We're going to go home happy. Job done.
Terrific scenes on the pitch down in front of us. Marcelino Nunez pulled out the corner flag from over in the far left corner and was dancing with it in front of the north stand. And now he's coming to this near side as well. And he's also been kissing the badge. He's been patting the Suffolk Shire horse on the flag over in the far left corner. And he is a real hero to these supporters. Of course, a derby winner 2 games in a row. Got the winner for Norwich the last time these two sides met. Came off the bench and helped spark them fully into life towards the latter stages of this one. As Nick Mills was just quite rightly saying, the subs had a massive impact on this match. It's great to see Ipswich Town finally, at long last, celebrating their first win over Norwich City since April 2009. We can stop finally referring back to that game with Jim Magilton, the manager, and John Stead, the match winner. It's all about Kieran McKenna now in his class of 25-26. I'm going to go downstairs and catch up with Kieran and at least one of his players to get reaction to this. A thoroughly deserved 3-1 East Anglian derby victory for Ipswich Town.